It is one of the most hotly contested racing leagues you can find on the iRacing service. It's been gone for the last couple months, but at long last, it gets set to make its return. And what better way to kick off a season than at the World Center of Racing? Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the High Tide Racing League Premier Series and to Daytona International Speedway. My name is Ola Remble alongside Chris Hannigan. Tonight, we're bringing you all of racing action from the High Tide Racing League 250 and the first of what should be a thrilling 22 races of racing action. Chris, this championship has long established itself as being a championship that is hotly contested week in, week out with some of the most consistently exciting racing we can see. What better way to kick things off than on Monday nights in the Sunshine State?
Man, is there really any other way to do it? You're Daytona, you're in the nationwide cars, kicking off season 3, a full field of cars here. I think we counted, 38? I think I saw, if that was right. They're about going on the track and get qualifying going. I'm super excited. I've heard so much about the High Tide Racing League here. Can't wait to see what they're going to do. Can't wait to see the action they're going to put on. Of course, Daytona is naturally like the only place you can start a NASCAR season, right? It's the place to be. Cars get bumper to bumper, draft all the way around. I'm excited. Can't wait to watch this tonight.
It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal race this afternoon, and we'll take a look at the schedule coming on over into this racing action. We started off at Daytona, then we slow it down for the action track. We finish it off with the Windy City at Chicagoland. Then it's a return to the old with The Rock. The first road course race comes from the America's home of motorsports at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Then it's a trip to the Brickyard. Martinsville closes out October. From there, Darlington, Vegas, and Pocono will see us through into December, where Bristol, Michigan, and Iowa will be the final races in 2023. They'll take a 2-week break for Christmas and New Year's, returning to January with the last 2 races of the regular series season at Kentucky and Kansas. Once again, a 12-8-4 format for the championship. Round of 12 will play host to Auto Club, Watkins Glen, and Atlanta Motor Speedway. The round of 8 at the Magic Mile itself, Talladega and Phoenix, and we close it out at the Classics track where it all began. The same state, we started the Sunshine State where the sun rises, and it'll be setting on the championship as well at Homestead, Miami for the season finale. It is a packed season ahead of us, and it's going to be an extremely challenging season at that, not one for the faint of heart.
Now, you really got to have a well-rounded schedule. If you're going to be the championship winner here in Season 3, you've got to have all your ducks in a row, be well-rounded driver, short tracks, medium tracks, intermediates, the super speedways, the road courses, everything's represented. This looks like a packed league to be a part of. I'm, again, super excited I can be watching and calling it, at least for the first part of the season with you, Nolan. And, yeah, I'm learning who these drivers are. Got some paint schemes to learn tonight. Got some drivers to get familiar with. And, I can't wait, man. I really can't wait. This is great.
We talk about some of the other changes entering this race. They started with the Gen 7 cars. They were planning on staying with the Gen 4 cars, with iRacing recently announced that they're going to be making some alterations. They didn't want to take the chance that the season could be disrupted by some big car changes in the middle of the season. So instead, they have opted to switch to the B-Class cars for the current season, which they will be running until the Gen 4 cars are a little bit more stable on the iRacing service. And you were talking as well, Chris, about all the rookies in the field, and boy, there is a lot of them. Going through the list, we got Ethan Sikorsky, Marshall Crocker Jr., John Osborne, Michael Keithley, among others like Corey Sherman, Zachary Triplett, Bob Berry, of course, a returning driver. Nick Osipek is a new driver. Tanner Marr is new to the field. Larry Bell, a former pro driver, is new to the field. Hunter Lagunas is new to the field, as well as others like Brian Zimmerman. There are, I'm counting about 11 rookies in the field here this afternoon, and a lot of returning names as well, including every driver that fought for the Final Four, including your defending champion, Dustin Pigg.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster here. I mean, there's a wide variety of skill levels here represented. And looking at the kind of the I ratings, you got some drivers that are up in the 5,000s. Right now, your provisional pole sitter, Aaron Smith, actually, because they're running qualifying here right now. But he's up there. He's up in the 5,700s. You got a few others in the 5,000s. You got some down in the 3-digit I ratings as well, all kind of mixed together in one field. Of course, Daytona is the best place to mix everybody up for the first round to see who's gonna survive. But yeah, this is great, man. A lot of great, a lot of drivers in the A class for their licenses as well. As we're on track, we'll take a look at Jonathan Canfield, number 16 Chevrolet. He is looking to put down his first lap. He's getting his, I guess it's the pit lap coming out right now. He's trying to carry all that speed. And man, it's been, iRacing's one of these games where, it's evolved over time, just like real racing's evolved. Back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, when you'd run Daytona or Talladega or any of these tracks, you'd run that wall all the way around until your second lap, and you'd cut down and be right on that. It used to be a white line. Now it's a double yellow line. But it's evolved. And, when we look at these newer generation of cars, the newer era models and the newer tire models and stuff, that old playbook doesn't work anymore. You can ask me how I know that, but it doesn't work anymore. And, so it's going to be interesting to kind of watch how these guys get a lap. I mean, they're all running essentially the same kind of cars here. I mean, restrictor plate racing is all about momentum and speed and luck. And I'm going to ask some silly questions tonight, Nolan, because this is a new league to me. But are they running fixed setups here, or is these open setups tonight?
I do believe they are fixed, so that's going to make things real interesting as well. Across the line for Canvia this time by his second lap. Good enough to put him into the number 9 position on the field. Michael Thorpe Jr. coming across the start-finish line. Now, Thorpe is a driver that has had so many ups and downs throughout his High Tide Racing League career. He had so many lows throughout the entirety of season number 2, and he's a driver that has really deserved to have some luck go his way. He struggled a lot to try to get some consistency down. He was always up there fighting for the top spots. His problem, though, was he would usually choke at the race win away at an absolutely critical moment, the most infamous of which I'd have to imagine would be, well, the most two famous incidents. One of them was, of course, at Phoenix, where he spun himself in the dogleg on the final lap of the race, and the other one was at Darlington, where he missed out on the race lead by half a car length after slamming into Aaron Smith on the final lap coming off of turn number 4, and that mistake was what cost him a title bid in the final 4 as he was eliminated in the round of 8. Looking to start this race for now in the number 11 position. He's looking to start his season off on a high to come out swinging.
Yeah, doing it best he can. Get up there to P11. He's only, essentially a 10th off the leader. But again, with fixed setups at Daytona, you're trying to figure out the best way to cut through the air. How's the line? How do you get the momentum out of the car? Minimize the number of turns you're putting in the wheel. I mean, all that stuff scrubs speed. Looking at Samuel Lawson here, he really wants to get those 2 wheels down about another 2 feet on that yellow line if you can. But Lawson's looking to put down his out lap here. He's going to come across the beam. And let's see where he will stack up. Oh, this is a time lap. That's his out lap. So this will be his first time lap now. Oh, sorry, it was his time lap. So, yep. So that put him up on P23. Of course, first lap is not the one that's going to get you higher on the board. These cars, again, all about momentum. Second lap's always faster than the first lap. Again, leaving a little bit of gap off the yellow line there. When you get down there, you guys get right down on that line. Kind of diamonding the corner a little bit, carry all that speed down the back straight. You see this car is just going as fast as it's gonna go. $175 is all she's got. Maybe a $176, 77 flows into the corner. It's gonna scrub that speed off. That's why it's so important to be, as smooth on the steering wheel as you possibly can. Because every little hundredth of a second here counts. Because you're looking at the leaderboard right now. I mean, Smith's got 400ths on second place, which is mind-boggling. But let's see where Lawson come across. He's going to go up the board, and he's going to slot in right behind Michael Thorpe Jr. we were just talking about. He's going to go to P12 with a 50.97. So, yeah, really looking between P1 and P25 right now. You've got less than a quarter of a second separating the field.
We got 36 drivers in total that are going to be looking to start this race tonight, tying it up with the biggest league in this series' history, with the biggest field coming from the Auto Club Speedway in season number 1. And now it is time to see how everything's going to line on up. Chris, it's time to go through the starting grid for the first time in this season number 3 run. And on pole position this afternoon, it'll be none other than Yellowvision's Aaron Smith II to kick things off on pole. Your Season 1 champion, Benjamin Lacey, for 785 race will be down at the number 2 spot on the front row. Dalton Kilwer from Team MFRD starts in 3rd alongside Nick Nickerson in 4th. Ty Barasco is 5th. With Eddie Hagee in 6th, BC Simsport on the outside of row number 3. Inside of row 4, it's Tony Hilbrand alongside Zero Foxtrot Motorsports driver David Leakey. Jonathan Canvin out of California will be in the number 9 spot. And the Texas native Kevin Foster rounds out the top 10.
Row number 6 on the inside will be Michael Thorpe Jr. On the outside, Samuel Lawson. Row 7, Ethan Sikorsky and Marshall Crocker Jr. Row number 8, Bob Berry, John Osborne. Row number 9, Michael Keithley, Brian Dees will round out the outside of row number 9. Row number 10, we're looking at Sean Williams and Dustin King, rounding out row number 10.
Carter Phillips will be on row number 11 with Carter Phillips in the BC Sim Sport car. Jason Greenwell, his teammate, starts alongside him on the outside of row 11. Row 12 holds Derek Paulson for MFRD alongside TNA Motorsports and series rookie Corey Sherman. Paul Wilson for GFR will put himself in 25th with the Ohio native Zachary Triplett back in 26th. The German, Paul Sapmary, starts at 27th, the last driver to put down a qualifying lap, with Brian Zimmerman, Hunter Lagunas, and Scott Shire, all not putting down qualifying laps in the session.
Rounding out the field today in P31 is going to be Tanner Marr. 32nd will be Nick Osepik. 33rd, Larry Bell. 34th, Michael Ashmore. 35th, Andrew Jones. 36th, Michael Messengill.
So a lot of drivers now ready to rumble, just waiting on 3rd and 26th to grid on up before we'll get this show on the road, and they're going to miss that call altogether. So for Dalton Kilroe, one of your Final Four contenders, it is a pit road start. That is not what he needed to kick off the season after he came home with a very solid championship outing at Homestead just a couple months ago.
Man, first look at me for to get a good look at these race cars. New liveries, new season. Everybody's got a fresh coat of paint out there. A couple of good-looking cars I see already. Really a big fan there of Benjamin Lacey's on the outside. That little lightning bolt scheme, that looks really good. But everybody's going to file onto the pit, out of the pits onto the racetrack, get settled up. 100 laps today, 250 miles at the Daytona International Speedway. Lots of close racing, obviously. Looking forward to some pack racing, drafting. I don't know. I mean, Nolan, you've been around these guys a lot longer than I have. I mean, what's the vibe like here at High Tide Racing League? Are these guys going to be patient? Is it going to be 3 wide for 100 laps? I mean, what's your forecast tonight?
It is all chill or no chill with the High Tide Racing League, and so often does it swing towards the latter. The last race we had at Daytona was on the old legacy layout of Gen 4 machinery, and we had a wild 4-wide finish with a monumental wreck coming off of turn number 4. Let's put it this way here. I feel like the top 2 cars are going to be near the back of the field when they start that final lap, and I mean that in the sense of the top 2 when they start the final lap, they're going to be at the tail of the field by the time they get to the end of that final lap. Most likely facing the wrong way.
Sounds like Daytona in a nutshell. That's what this race is. Always a kind of a wild card. Best thing, get it out of the way early. Start the season off with it. See how far you can do. I mean, really, there's different strategies here too, right? You could drop back. You could let the field pull away. You could let them go do their own race and just be there at the end. Survive if you can. But, a lot of these guys want to race. 100 laps is a long time. Let's see how patient they're actually going to be as we're coming off turn 4. Getting ready to start that season 3 up.
We're happy that you're joining us on a beautiful Monday night. The iRacing pace car for the first time of the season pulls down and into pit road. Aaron Smith works his way into the Geico restart zone. It's time to go, go, go! And High Tide is back!
Good start there for Aaron Smith on the inside. He's going to lead the inside lane into turn number 1. Everybody staying 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field till about the 6th row back. You've got a few cars running the outside lane. Inside lane led by Smith's going to pull away 2 car lengths now. Going to pull Ty Morosco with him out of turn number 2.
Down the back straightaway, the cars get up to speed for the first time this afternoon, and it is a mad scramble down the back straightaway. 2 lines so far. Jason Greenwell jumping from top to bottom, while one more car jumps from bottom to top. Smith leads the way for line number 1. Lacey leads the way on line number 2. Nobody making 2 big moves early on, and it looks like this one will go the way of Aaron Smith to lead lap number 1, but already Ty Marasco jumping to the top shelf, and he looks like he might just steal the lead away, and it'll be Marasco to take credit for the first lap lead of the night.
Man, that was a photo finish for the first lap of the race, but that's Daytona for you. 2 by 2 all the way through. Looks like the inside lane's got a few more cars on it, but that outside lane's got some momentum now. They pulled up side by side. Marasco Smith on the front row, and you've got Hildebrand and Lacey there on the second row. Running all the way down. Everybody's staying 2 by 2, keeping it somewhat organized, but this is where it starts to get a little dicey. These cars are now up to speed. They're going to start kind of tapping the brakes, maybe lifting off the right. See right there, a little bump draft kind of knocked Marasco around a little bit. Super easy to get these cars squirrely. Super easy to kind of get them turned, especially in the straightaways. You see a little bit more give and take here in the corners as they kind of let off the bumpers, let the cars breathe a little bit. But of course, that's easy to do in the front. By the time you get, 7, 8 rows back, that little lift turns into someone hitting the brakes and it can cause an accident really easy.
Dalton Kilbro has made his way back out onto the racetrack, but he did not leave pit road until the pack was already working into turn number 2. So Kilbro is going to be going down a lap here before too long. I would say he's going to be off of the lead lap by the time they get around to about lap 15 or so. He is hoping for an early caution to get himself back in the fight.
Yeah, you're going to need something. That's what, packet loss, lost connection. This is the equivalent of mechanical failures in sim racing at this point. I'm actually, not scoring this up. It was showing him 2 laps down, but I think it just snapped into place. You're right, about 30 seconds back. We'll keep an eye on him. He should be getting caught by the leaders here within probably about 5 or 6 laps at this point.
Aaron Smith continuing to lead the way. Ty Marasco still hunting on the outside as well. So far, a very organized start to this race. Nobody making too aggressive of a move. I think these guys, again, have realized that it's a very long race, and you want to make sure that you're going to be able to fight for these positions when you get down to the end of this thing. And right now, the entire pack, save for Kilbro, packed up line astern within 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's really a smart strategy. You just want to stay in the pack here. There's no reward right now for being aggressive. There's no reward for hitting somebody, pushing them really hard. I mean, you're on lap 4 of a 100-lap race here, Nolan. It's not something you're going to win right now. Your job as a driver is to survive, is to stay in the draft, stay in the pack. You see there's like 5 or 6 cars on the inside of this, at the end of this lead pack here. They're just riding. They're not trying to wrestle. That's what's going to be happening later. They're not trying to fight a whole lot. They're just tucking in line, running around the track. That's what you do to survive. And hopefully if the wreck happens in front of you, by the time it comes to you, you're on the brakes enough where you're not going to run into somebody.
Tony Hilbrand's led the lap that time by at the line, trying to block both lanes. Aaron Smith will jump to the high side for the first time all night long, so he'll link up with Team MFRD driver Ty Marasco as they work the back straightaway. And Smith jumping down to the bottom. So Smith right now trying to control both lines, and he did a good job there of getting back around Hilbrand. The problem is now he's going to drop all the way back to the 92, and that could allow for Marasco to do the same thing to Smith with help from Eddie Hagge on the top shelf.
Yep, still very organized, though. I mean, there's a little bit of shuffling around. Whoa, that's a little bit of shuffling there in the tribal there. I saw Marasco's car seemed like it a little loose going through the tribal. I thought maybe he got a little shove, but the other thing to consider here, too, if this is going to go green, if we're going to have racing like this, the guys up front are the ones that are flat. They're the ones using the most fuel. You can actually save a lap or 2 of fuel by running in this pack and go further into the race. So if you're someone like Aaron Smith, who's obviously a successful driver, he's got a high I rating, ready to go, but he's, if he's not planning on saving fuel, then stay up there. If not, maybe you might see him kind of shuffle, a row or 2 back and get off the throttle a little bit, save a little bit of gas, get on the same pit windows as the other guys.
On board is Tony Hilbrand as he looks to give the push to the back of Aaron Smith as they work their way back through the tri-oval. Not a lot of drivers confident in making contact just yet, and you wonder if maybe some of these series veterans here are having some flashbacks to the Gen 4 season that we had in Season 2. You couldn't bump trap with those cars for obvious reasons. The nose is more like a scoop. You can push a little bit more confidently in these cars, but oh boy, huge bunch of cars scrambling to the inside mid-pack.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Coming off turn 2, I think somebody just checked up.
Oh, look out, trouble! One car up into the wall. We got a yellow flag, and it's the big one. Cars up into the air on top of other cars, and a big mess. That's about half the field collected in turn 1 on lap 7.
Wow, that's the risk for running so close together. I think a lot of those guys that were in the back that we were talking about earlier actually got caught up in that too, unfortunately. But that was a wreck on the straightaway. And I wonder if that started way back in turn 2. Because coming off turn 2, somebody checked up, and it caused a whole line of cars to bail to the apron in avoidance. That's what that move was. And by the time they got it kind of, reset halfway down the straightaway, they're wrecking again. So I wonder if that was a ping pong effect. We'll probably check it out here in the replay. Let's take a look. This is going down the back straightaway here.
Man.
Somebody got shoved into the 34. That's the 19 car. Again, learning paint schemes. Apologies. Corey Sherman is the one that got shoved to the inside into the 34 car. Wow, look at this wreck. That's Michael Thorpe Jr. You were talking about the bad luck he had.
And a lot of this.
I wonder if we can get a look at that again. I wonder if the first car got, if that's Corey Sherman, I wonder if he got hit with a draft, bump draft, and that's what shot him to the left. See, that's everybody coming off. So this is them blending back in. I think he was on the high line. Oh yeah, it was the white car. It's the white car right there on the top line. That barely made it through. What a move! Wow. I don't know who that was. We need to get to see who that was, but he's the one that gave Corey Sherman the shot, and then survived the wreck.
Lagunas.
Cars coming to pit road, by the way, Nolan. Everybody's coming in.
So one of the rookies, the driver responsible for this, and the whole field behind, they just had nowhere to go. I mean, you see a wreck like this, where do you go? The whole track's blocked. You just got to slam the brakes and hope that you don't get hit. And a lot of drivers couldn't say the same. But like you mentioned, cars in pit road, and it is a busy place down there with the whole pack down. And then 3 wide out of pit road. And he got the top 2 stayed out. Marasco leads the way off of pit road.
Yeah, lots of cars coming on off pit road. You got to be careful here at some of those cars. I mean, you can drive through them when they're in the pit box, but you can't drive through them when they're on the pit lane. A lot of cars going in, a lot of cars going out. A lot of cars probably taking repairs here. Let's see. That's coming out. The 7 car was the first one there. You see, look at the run Thorpe has. Thorpe in the 34 car is just dying there. And, oh, wow. 72 gets in the back of the 19. 19 gets inside of 34. And then everyone else just...
I don't think
nowhere to go.
Made it out of that.
Well, which one was it? I'm sorry, the white car that we poked. He's the one that made it through. So it's the 72 car. So if we go on board with the 72, he had probably the best view of this thing going down. But see, there's the first. That's going to check up. So the 19 actually lifted because the guys in front of him were slowing down, and that caught the 72. I don't think the 72 was trying to be aggressive there. I think he got caught off because the 19 car in front of him. Looks like he may have actually lifted probably a little bit earlier than maybe the other one was expecting, unfortunately. But yeah, if we can get an onboard the 72, that'd be a great view through that wreck there.
That was Hunter Lagunas, the one that started this whole mess, and he is now your race leader after he's not come down to pit road.
He's pushing. The car 19 just going to lift right there. 19 lifts, and that's going to put him in back. Now watch the avoiding maneuver here. Watch this down and then back up too. Watch right here too. Ooh, back up to the wall. Wow. I don't know. I can't really put that on Hunter Lagunas. How do you say his last name? Sorry.
Lagunas, I'm assuming.
Lagunas. Okay, Hunter Lagunas. I can't put that on him. I mean, that's 19 lifted right in front of him there, and I don't think he could have anticipated that.
So with Sean Williams, another driver that got through.
He's down on the. He went down the low, and then now they're starting to wreck. He's on the binders, hard as he can go. Doesn't get hit. Trying to crank the wheel to the left as hard as he can. Wow, what a great job not spinning that car out, and also everyone else not hitting him. Man, a lot of bent-up race cars in that one there, Nolan.
Yeah, no kidding. Big trouble for a huge chunk of the field with that one. And, you know, that's a wreck that, well, this pack's going to be feeling that for sure. That's a tough one for sure. And
it's just the nature of it, though. I mean, it's just the nature.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so what caused that, right? Remember, it was the 19 checked up because the 2 cars in front of him, you know, they were bump drafted. And when you bump draft, the second car is going to stop. 19 lifted. I mean, probably a little earlier than he could have, but that caught out Lagunas, and you just bumped him. And next thing you know, you got a parking lot going into the corner. So there's just the nature of this place. That's why you gotta be patient. It's early. Leave room. I mean, there's nothing to win for banging on each other. I mean, even down the straightaway, because like I said, by the time you get 7 rows back, that little bang turns into someone tapping the brakes, and it's a wreck. So this is plate racing, man.
Well, we're lights out with 1 to green. A big stack up in the middle of the field there, in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, this is pretty messy.
So
I think they're trying to get sorted here a little bit. I don't know if they're in the right sequence.
Some games maybe being played as well. Never quite know. But we'll restack them, re-rack them. 10 laps deep and ready to go for the second time this afternoon. Already with a big one, but still 35 of 36 on the lead lap. Paul Sapmary has gone a lap down after the incident. We're back to green.
Moresco, good jump on the inside. He's going to pull a pretty decent gap, though, between him and Jones on the inside lane there. That's going to let the outside lane form up. He's actually going to slide up and make the outside lane himself into turn 1. It's going to leave out the 13 car of Andrew Jones on the inside. But now the 97 is going to drop down. That's going to be Eddie. How do you say his last name? Sorry.
That'd be Eddie Haggy. And
Eddie
looking
Haggy.
for 3 wide off of turn 2.
Woo. He did it. They're still coming off into the apron. I think these guys are trying to, oh boy. Oh boy, inside lane, middle lane's gonna be the one to go. Bottom lane's checking up early. Everybody's being smart right now. I don't think that middle lane's got enough juice unless the 92 is gonna drop down. There you go, back to 2 wide. That's what we need to see.
Ty Marasco and Samuel Lawson both going up the middle to go back to run 1-2 on the outside line. So some of these rookies, really not showing much fear early on. Lawson, of course, one of those rookies with the Five Kings Motorsports number 27 Camaro. And he's trying to shove Marasco to the point alongside Eddie Haggy down on the inside as well. Haggy right now with the lead. And the 13 of Jones pushing him. So 2 rookies pushing a couple of veterans.
That's what can happen here, man. It can get shuffled so bad. You see, now they're starting to check up.
Oh, that's not good for Jones.
He's bailing. He's bailing. Say, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to go drop to the back. You guys have at it. Unless there's a penalty there. I don't see any penalties up on the board.
Well, he didn't have a choice. If he stayed on the apron in the corner, he would have slid right back up and cleaned out the whole pack.
Yeah. No, he's getting out of the pack. He's saying, this is too aggressive for me right now. You guys go have fun. I'll see you back in about 70 laps. So race control update. Lagunas was given an EOL for that incident for causing that last caution, so he is down in the back of the field. And also the driver that missed the start, I think that was going to be Kilrow, number 41 car. He's up to P23. He's back on the lead lap. He's running. He's back in the pack, and no harm, no foul.
Well, that early caution was exactly what Kilrow was looking for. If he hadn't gotten that, he would have gone down a lap for sure because he had no drafting help. Now he got around that mess because, well, it was gone by the time he got to it. And he's able to now drive away nice and smooth through this field. Now the driver hoping for a yellow without being involved. Paul Sapmary running down in 36 right now, the number 24 car. He had to go down the lap for damage repairs under that yellow flag, and he is right now begging for a caution so he could get back onto the lead lap. Right now, he's the only driver with the lucky dog.
A few other big movers in the field right now. Up to P10 is the 98 car, Michael Ashmore. He started down in the 34th position, and he's up to P10, moving his way up through the field. Nicely done from Ashmore there. Brian Zimmerman at P12 up 16 spots as well. He started down in P28. He's up to P12. So a few guys moving through the field in the right direction.
Michael Ashmore only won a single race last season, and it came at this very racetrack, albeit the legacy version. And he only led about 200 feet of that race as well. There was a monumental accident between Haggy and Marasco coming off of turn number 4 on the final lap of the race in Season 2. And that caused the entire field, or at that point, what was left of it, we had lost about half the cars, to be annihilated coming off of turn 4. Ashmore slipped to the middle, took the win in a 4-wide finish at that race. And now looking to see if he can't go for his second race win at the same place where he took it almost a year ago.
That sounds like an amazing race. I love some of these camera shots here. Look at all these cars on track right now. This is a packed league. Everyone's here running clean, staying in their lane, being smooth here. Hagee up front, he is right where you just talked about a second ago. He's still there, trying to recap on what happened last season. But yeah, everyone's kind of settling into their groove here. Now I think this is the way to go. You got to click off some laps. You're still in working lap 16 of 100. Got a long way to go. Got to survive. Don't be bumping. There's a bump right there off the leader. Hagee got knocked down below the yellow line from the 84 car. David Leakey gave him a shot. And that's what happens. That little shot it moves the car so hard. I mean, if there's a car on the inside, it's going to cause a wreck like we saw a few laps ago.
They did a good job of getting around that, though, and it was a shot like that that caused the first caution of the night. Just lucky there was nobody down to the inside of Hagee, although it would be hard for anybody to be down there, considering he's is on the inside line and in the lead. So a lucky break there. The 97, especially with the fact that the 84 of Leakey led him back in the line.
Oh, I thought for a second the one car got turned into 84 right there. I don't know if the 27 gave him a shot or what, but that was that looked pretty spicy going into turn one. And look how tight they are. This is the other risky thing here. I mean, this is a simulator. You're running 200 miles an hour. Net code can be a thing, especially coming out of turn 2, coming out of turn 4. You don't. I mean, I know you want that side draft, but they get really close going through the corner like that. I get nervous. I get nervous for net code. I get nervous for Phantom 4X and all those things, because they do happen no matter how good your internet is. Yeah, these guys, they just seem like they're running really tight. There's another bump. Man, Leakey just shoving Haggy here. And that's only going to work okay so many times.
And now for 3 wide again. Tony Hilbrand's looking to open up a third line with Dustin Ping. Both of these drivers were into the final 4 at Homestead last season, looking to go to the point, and up to the top is going to go the one of Verasco, back down to the side of Leakey. 3 wide, 2 rows deep, and now for the lead down the backstretch.
Yeah, Sikorsky is up there. He's going to be the first car to join that third line. He's 4 rows back. He's going to push. Then this is where it's starting to get racy. So, of course, he's going to push the 21 of Crocker Jr. They're going to try to catch up. And when they get up there, are they going to keep the third line? Let's see. They're thinking about it. This is going to be the second. No, they're going to settle in 2 wide here. I think that's a smart move. Somebody's feeling racy, though. Somebody got that third lane going. I need to go back and see the replay. Who's the one that started that? It may have been the 92 of Hildebrand. I think the one that went up there, right? And we'll keep an eye on it, but that's again, maybe I'm the old man in the group, Nolan. I don't know. It feels too much too soon, man.
Oh, no, I agree. I was not a fan when I saw that. I mean, we're not even 20 laps deep into a 100-lap race. Don't put it 3 wide around the outside yet. That's what you should be doing in the last 20 laps, not the first 20.
My goodness, and 27 there. I mean, Lawson's looking kind of racy, too. Look how tight he is coming off turn 4. Ooh, that car is second car on the inside. I think that's the Leakey again, kind of slid up. You got to give a little bit of room here. I mean, this is tough. And I know you want to go on the outside. I know you want to make it 3 wide, but just oh, there's a bump there too. This is going to end in tears. This is going to end in tears. You got folks like, who was it that dropped back? Was it Andrew Jones? That said, y'all have fun. I'll meet y'all 70 laps down the road. That's the play I would be doing right now too. This is just too much for me. Go to the back, run some laps, click off everything, survive, be there at the end. Because yeah, if I was a bet, and I'm a bet man, what am I talking about? I bet on this. This is going to be a plane crash here soon.
And now we're on board with Corey Sherman out of Williamson, New York, currently running in the number 14 spot. This is what the view is like from the middle of the battle pack. And then from the inside line down low, you're looking for a driver like Zachary Triplett, and they're looking to go 3 wide to the middle of the pack here as well. Triplett running the middle groove as they're running it down towards turn number 1.
Yeah, there they go. I mean, they're going to do it. It's going to be the 6 car is the one that's going to peel off. That's going to be Derek Paulson. And he's going to get a little bit of help, but this is where it's going to get spicy coming off the corner. You got to stay high, hold your line. They do it. Now the straightaway is often more dangerous than the corners. So let's see how they're going to stack it out. Still 3 lanes. They're going to, I mean, they're forming 3 lanes now, 5-6 rows deep. Trying to anyway.
I do not like this. This is way too early to be racing like this. I mean, you'd think we're on the final lap, but this ain't it, Chief, and this is only going to end one way, and it is going to end in a colossal accident for this field. We've already seen the consequences of just a bad bump. A bad bump in the middle of this will take out the field and everybody behind them.
Absolutely. There's a few guys in here that are moving around quite a bit more. That Tennessee car, that 27 car is looking on. He's trying to make it 3 wide again. That's Lawson. There's a few guys in here that are moving around a little bit more than I think I'd like to see if I was their driver. And there you go. You got another car peeling off on the inside saying, you know what? Y'all go have fun. That's that Ford, that blue Ford on the inside. So y'all go have at it. Just let me know what it's like. 3 by 3 by 3. Oh my goodness. Yeah. See, there's 82 car. They're taking up a few different lanes. Man, this is spicy, Nolan. This is really spicy. And about this stage of the race too, as a driver right now, you're starting to form opinions of the other drivers. Like if I'm sitting there in the middle of this pack, I'm watching the guy that's constantly pulling out of line. I'm watching the guy that's constantly moving around on his own line. I'm making my own mental note saying, I'm not going to work with that guy. Or I'm going to let him wreck and do the other thing. Did you see Lawson there send it around the outside, trying on the wall. Desperately wants to go 3 wide to make it around to get to the front. Oh, I gotta breathe. This is too much.
Benjamin Lacey backs out. Derek
Paulson
had gotten into John Osborne on the top shelf of the racetrack, so Lacey going to drop down through this field. And I want to point out, it is definitely possible to run 3 wide for an extended period of time at this racetrack. We've seen it done time after time again, and we're seeing it here. The problem is you really need to have a lot of trust in the drivers around you to do it safely. And about a third of this field are rookies that have never raced with each other in this league. So I wouldn't have a lot of trust for these guys right now.
You could do 3-4 wide. I mean, you really could. But the problem is, look how much they're moving around, especially watching the inside line. The upper lane and the bottom lane are easy to drive because if you're in the top lane, you can just run the wall. If you're in the bottom lane, you can run the yellow line. More drivers peeling off. Look at that. This is it. If you're running the middle, you have no reference of kind of where you are on the track other than looking at the pavement in front of you and watching the distance between the 2 cars around you. And it's kind of like flying a fighter jet formation. You know, if one guy makes a move, the other guy's going to react, but it's always a little bit delayed, more exaggerated. That inside lane is just, you know, yo-yoing. It's yo-yoing through, and that is not sustainable. That will not work forever. Somebody's gonna yo-yo too far in one direction or the other, and it's gonna cause a big accident. And they're trying their best to do it right now, frankly speaking.
3 wide for the lead. Haggy down low. Marasco in the middle. Osborne up on top. Osborne's line going to drop back. There's just not the momentum right now on the 3rd lane to make it work. But that middle line's got some good momentum underneath it. And look at the run that Marasco and Payne get down the back straightaway as Eddie Haggy loses a lot of the momentum. He'll get a tag from the 84, David Leakey. And now Payne to the inside of Marasco. He'll take the race lead away by abandoning him down to the bottom.
It's going to be a big shove here from Paulson if he gets to the back of that 1 car and hits him. It's like he backed off, saved it. That's good. Oh no, we're seeing Aaron Smith having a few connection troubles. That'll scare everybody around him as well. Yeah, I mean this is it. They're gonna keep doing this until they figure out who's gonna lead a lap, I guess. But a few of the guys drop back. This is nuts. It's gonna end in a crash. But I mean we all know. But I mean honestly, to give them credit, we've been saying that for like 5 or 6 laps now, and they've survived so many.
Oh boy!
Oh, I thought that was it. Paulson just gave. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't Paulson. That was Lawson. Gave Osborne a shove on the outside lane. I mean, a shove and a half. Oh, the point I was going to make. You talking about the inside lane having some momentum. The inside lane.
Oh my word!
This is good. The inside lane is actually, I think, the fastest one. So you get the side draft off both lanes around you, which is great. But it's the hardest one to drive, for sure.
And that was the 19, drifting down into the big red propane, number 82 on the front straightaway. And you can tell a lot of the field behind has been broken up as a result of all of this. Now, take your pick here on this one. Oh, no, there we go. Going around, turn 2. Multiple cars around to the back straightaway. And caution flag is out, and that is Sherman stuck against the outside wall. They're not done yet. The 72 breaking it out, and he'll save it.
Sherman's not having a great night tonight. Let's see what happened to him. I think he was running the middle, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the middle or the bottom. He wasn't on the high line. I think he was. Let's see. Here you go. Run through turn 2. So he's a little bit higher. That's it. Yeah. So he yo-yoed too far up to the outside. Got into the side of. I didn't see the car number there.
It was the 5 of John Osborne.
Osborne. Okay. Thankfully, that was not a bigger wreck. That could have been a massive accident, but it was really a 2-car accident when it was done. But yeah, I mean, that's. I don't know what Osborne could have done right. Osborne's running up against the wall, and yeah, unfortunately for Sherman there, it just ran out of room, and there's a car there. So, and thankfully nobody else involved, but that'll get everybody's heart rate down for a minute, and we'll rack them up. Try it again.
And it was Lagunas, the other car, that ended up getting a little bit of a tag from behind, and Hunter Lagunas did a great job here to save this car. This could have been a big secondary incident as well. Overall, that should have been a lot worse than it was, so you have to give props to the field for keeping that as small as it was, and then right there gets the tag.
Oh, he got clobbered.
Yeah, that was a great save, though. He could have easily slid up and slammed right in to Corey Sherman, who is now
but
stopped
look
on
at
the
the damage.
racetrack.
Look at the damage of his cars. You see, he was turning the wheel to the left. That damaged his car quite a bit. And the car behind him actually had rear damage as well. I wonder if it wasn't 3 cars stacking up. Somebody didn't slow down there. Really, I mean, I'll be the first to say no excuse for flying into a wreck like that. Not Lagunas, but whoever the 2 cars behind him, obviously running back up. But anyway, pit stops are open.
Dustin Ping leads the field down to the lane. Zachary Triplett looking like he will be the lone car to stay out. He already pitted once on lap 8, and he's going to stay out this time around, but he is the only car to do so. And somebody has gone into the pit wall.
You don't want to be doing that. Or if there's a little bit of contact there.
Smith
big
took
fan
fuel
of
only.
Kilroy's, big fan of Kilroy's pit crew uniforms there. I saw that. That was great. Thanks for that. And then I wonder if there's maybe a couple contacts, and then somebody spun in.
It was Osborne, the one that ended up having problems as he came down into his pit box.
Let's see if I can find a replay of that so we can see what happened to Osborne there. He came into the pits.
Oh, he had locked up the right front and just went in.
Still rocking that damage. Yeah, I couldn't get the car stopped.
It's an easy mistake to make as well with these concrete pit boxes, and you can see a whole host of cars still in pit road for damage repairs. Well, while we got this field in for these damage repairs, want to give a little quick shout out here to a driver and, of course, a friend of that driver's family that has recently passed away. There was the name of that person was Joseph Barnes O'Donnell, and Barnes O'Donnell over here. He was a Navy veteran of 4 years throughout the Vietnam War, and he passed away just this past weekend of Alzheimer's. So our hearts going out to Brian Dees and his family, and of course the family as well of Joseph Barnes O'Donnell, and we thank him, of course, for his service throughout the U.S. Navy in what was no doubt a very trying time throughout the world. We wish that he is resting in peace wherever he may be at this point in time. So Brian Dees racing for Joseph Barnes O'Donnell this afternoon and the rest of his family.
"30 laps into a 100-lap race tonight. 2 yellows on the board. Look who's back up front, Nolan, our pole sitter, Aaron Smith. After two pit stops, back on point.
Took fuel only on that last pit stop, and he was not the only driver. Eddie Hagge beside him took fuel only. Same story for Sikorsky and for Carter Phillips. I'm not terribly surprised by that. Tires are not the biggest thing to worry about at Daytona, but it's one that you'll have to worry about eventually. But Smith, evidently not thinking he's got to worry about it just yet.
I mean, I think you could probably go this whole race without taking tires, honestly. The only time you're going to mess them up is if you lock them up going into the pit stop, or lock them up trying to run into somebody on track if there's an incident ahead of you. But it doesn't hurt to take 2. I mean, there's the track position is obviously king here. If you near the end of the race, you want to be as close to the front as possible. But yeah, you can pretty much run this whole thing on the same set of tires you started with, to be honest.
So 70 laps to go when we come around to the start-finish line. We are working yellow flag number 2. The last race we had here, I believe we had 10 cautions on the day, I want to say. We had 12, so 36 of what ended up being 111 laps with 2 attempts at overtime the last time we were out here at Daytona for the Gen 4 cars. And so far, we're on track to get a little closer to that record, but we should be able to keep it under the double-digit mark this afternoon. I hope.
Hope so too. This race this could be a long race if we keep doing yellows. Hopefully, a few guys, or maybe on the voice chats or whatever, they're telling each other, calm down. Long race. Green flag's out.
Green flag up in the air. 70 laps to go from Daytona International Speedway, the High Tide Racing League 250. Aaron Smith leading the way from Ty Marasco, from Eddie Hagge, from Dustin Ping, from Derek Paulson. As drivers get back up to speed in turn number 1. Smith with no help on the bottom, and that outside line can easily take advantage here.
outside lane's coming. Marasco's easy going to take the point here as now Smith gets a little bit of help from the 6 car of Derek Paulson and also the 82 car there of Paul Wilson. But the outside lane is checked through and dropped down in front of them. That's what that gap does on the restart. It's a little bit of trick sometimes on the restart. You can take the start and then drag the brake a little bit so you don't actually pull away from anybody else. But we're seeing now that, yeah, this field is just going to continue to build up speed, and let's see how long it takes them to stay to go 3 wide here. Well, there you go. Well, they're looking at it. Thankfully, the 1 car Marasco cut it off, but I think the 84 car there, yeah, on the outside, or 81, Dustin Ping is looking racy, man. He wants to get up toward the front as soon as he can.
Ty Marasco trying to drive in around the outside with Eddie Hagge down low. Dustin Ping, your defending champion, continuing to work with the number 2 spot up on the outside line. And now David Leakey looking like he wants to try to follow through as well. And the Ping Precision Auto Glass number 81 will jump down to the inside. So Ping to the lead for the first time tonight.
Well, he's in the lead now. I don't know if he's going to hold it by the time he gets to the start-finish line, though. That outside lane, Marasco got a little bit of heat on it. Coming to the line, who's going to be? I think Marasco's got that lap.
And Marasco managed to take that lap away the last time by, while Leakey continuing his strong run down low. You still got the 84 and the 97 side by side as well. And now a lot of drivers down further in the field, starting to break apart a little bit. We got some more single file going on towards the tail end. And a lot of these cars are cars that got involved in incidents early on, or that bowed out of this field early on. They're all looking to just play it safe right now and wait for the race to come to them.
I think there was a little bit of a moment going into turn 1 that caused everybody to check up for a second. I was trying to go back and look on the replay, but I don't think that was intentional. But I think they're going to slowly kind of accordion back together. But something happened going into turn 1. There's a lot of movement, and everybody spread out and let off the gas. But they're starting to reconvene together here. Hopefully, again, stay in line, click off some laps, and let's see where this thing takes us. This is going. Let's see. This is going down through the tri-oval here.
This is into turn 1 the last time by.
This is going into turn 1. Look ahead. Let's see. Is anybody? No, they're already spread out here. So maybe.
Lap
Yeah,
30,
I don't know what it was.
31 to 32 maybe.
Yeah, I don't. I saw a lot of movement on the timing tower, and then I looked up and everybody was spread out. So I thought something maybe happened. Maybe everybody's just kind of lifting and taking it easy, and trying to survive, which is honestly the way to do it.
Packed up here.
Yeah, it may have just been imagining things. So I think everybody's just kind of taking it easy. Like you said, everybody's lifting. Especially these guys here in the back. You see nobody here in the back is running real close. They're just trying to stay in the draft. That's the way
trouble,
to go.
Brian Dees.
Meanwhile, somebody's off.
Dees sliding through the grass. He'll get it back onto the racetrack, and no contact with anybody else. We'll keep it green.
No yellow. Brian Dees in the 17 Camaro there. This is coming out of turn 4.
Oh, boy. Contact with Thorpe.
Didn't hit the wall. Thorpe. Was that Thorpe got in the back of him, maybe?
No, into the side.
Oh, so I wonder if somebody got in the back of Thorpe then. Let's see. This is on board. Maybe we can go back a car or two so we can see from a... Oh, look at the rotating camera from our producer. This is amazing. Thorpe's running up the middle. Oh, yeah, doored him. That inside lane is dangerous. That middle lane is dangerous, man. A little bit of, thankfully, I wonder if he got a black flag there.
No, he missed the cone. He'd be fine.
Okay, well, yeah, that middle lane is dangerous, and that's why I get it. I get it as a driver. It's fun. You're racing, you're Daytona, you're 3 wide, yeah. But it's so sketchy in sim racing because of the yo-yo, because of that that lag of formation driving that you get. I see some shoves here on the outside as Marasco gets a shove here from, who's that? Is that the 84 car, Leakey again? Yep. The 80 Leakey's back up top pushing. This is just settle down, boys. You got a long way to go. You just got a third of the way through the race here.
Not too far up the road, Nick Nickerson, having lost the field with that one. He is at risk of going a lap down now, unless you get a caution within the next lap and a half or so. Oh, he might get it here, though. It's Ty Marasco bobbles big time on the approach to 1.
Everybody's getting racy. Hey, did they touch side by side right there?
They're
so
trying.
Close. They're getting as close as they can. Now, I don't know what they're going to do when they catch Nickerson here. I mean, Nickerson's he's entitled to a spot on the track. Hopefully they stay double file and don't go 3 wide by the time they get to him, but they're going to be going so much faster than him for sure. But yeah, this is spicy. This is what Daytona is, though, man. It's just nonstop, hold your breath type racing.
Turning lap 38, Marasco leads another one from the outside line. That outside lane really does seem to be the place where you want to be right now if you want to get some lap sled. The inside has not had a lot of momentum, and you wonder if that's just with the momentum off these corners or if it's just some discoordination going on with the inside train. I think a lot of it's got to do with that outside momentum that you can carry with that sharper banking transition coming off the top side of turn 2. So still 2 abreast for the lead, and here's the heart stopper moment.
Yeah, they got to get through, but I think you're right. Yeah, you want to be on the outside lane coming off of turn 4 at the end of this race. I mean, that's supposed to be. Let's see if they all get by here. Everyone's being nice and tidy as Nickerson's going to kiss the wall there for good measure, trying to stay out of the way. He should be able to duck in here. He's going to duck in second lane. There you go. Everybody survived. Well done.
Now, critically, he has actually been overtaken throughout all of that by Paul Satmary, who has put himself up to 35th now. So right now, the 24 and the 2 right here, they're battling for the lucky dog spot. And if we go on board here with Nick, see that car right now, the one ahead of the 21 here, that's the car he's trying to race for the lucky dog, and he's trying to go for it.
Here he goes, dude. He's going. He's saying, you know what, that inside lane, I got all that draft I need right here. Get up there. Nice move. Nicely done. It was clean. It was low risk. He had the moment. I tell you what, if you can get a run on that inside lane through this many cars side by side, it is like you are in a completely different class of race car. It is wild how much speed you can get. It's not sustainable. He did that just right till he started to stall out and he moved up in line. That was perfect.
That was a wild move there, and he's able to get around Satmary, sort of. They're side by side, but the way it stands, Nick would have the lucky dog free pass, and that could be a move that saves your race in the later going. Now his problem is he's right packed up behind the pack of cars where there's most likely to be a caution, especially when they're going 3 wide like this. The 16 gets off the apron.
Ooh, that's it. You get pushing through, getting a little impatient here. This car on the outside there has got to drop back down. He is. Everybody's in line again, kind of, sort of. They're still thinking about it. I think we're back 2 by 2 now. Yeah. So again, this is a game of patience. It is a game of straight patience. You have to just be as patient as you can, and it's so hard. You get these big runs, and you feel like you're going half throttle around this racetrack. In some cases, you are, but I mean, you're not even halfway through this race. There's nothing to gain. Because there's going to be another big wreck. You know there's going to be another big wreck. Everybody's going to get reset. You're either going to get caught in it or you're not. And you don't want to be. So, you know, by the way, there are 2 groups. There's a second draft train back there further back of guys just running single file. That's the place you want to be right now if I'm these guys. You're running back here with them and just hanging out as long as you can. But, yeah, I think we got at least one more pit stop, right? So we got to get maybe a green flag stop at some point. But I don't know. How far can we run on tank fuel, Nolan? Do you know?
Not with these cars. This is a new quantity, especially with some of the fuel restrictions that they've put in. So we'll figure this one out as it comes along. If it was the Gen 7 cars or the Gen 4s, I could tell you a little more confidently. But these things... They forecasted 3 pit stops, right? So that would put it at about 25 laps, right? So 25, 50, 75. So considering the last pit stops for most of these guys are around lap 28, lap 29, we got about, let's say, 10 laps till we get there. So, in theory.
In theory. We're just making all this up as we go along. So maybe we'll find out. But yeah, we'll see.
Marasco hangs on with the outside line, and he has by far led the most laps of this race from that outside groove. Boy, the race in action here this afternoon has been absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to get some more plate racing action in, well, don't you worry. We got yourselves with a Super Speedway doubleheader. It's the sister track up tomorrow night for the MSRL Cup Series. The car's a little bit faster, the track a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and a little bit crazier. It's the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR as MSRL swings to the Talladega Super Speedway with just 2 races to go in the regular series season before playoff season begins. So 2 Super Speedways back-to-back. Couldn't ask for a better plate track week.
Plate racing is NASCAR racing. Am I right? That's what we do. So this is it. I think everybody's kind of settled down. Not seeing as much 3 wide now. I think a lot of these guys again staying in line, clicking off laps. A little bit of shuffling there for the lead on the outside lane. Marasco was up there for a while. Now you got Ping up there. I think they're shuffling. I don't see a lot of banging down the back straightaway like we were before. Everybody's leaving a little bit of room. So maybe everybody's smartened up here a little bit and said, okay, we're going to survive from here on out. And at least till the next pit stop anyway. Let's still get impatient and start doing it again.
Quite a few cars deeper in this field, starting to go a little bit more single file as well. Although all that discombobulation that we saw right off the hitch has since managed to more or less resolve itself. And there goes your second pack. That's a good visualizer there of just how far back the second pack has dropped. They're now 6 seconds off of the leaders. And again, a good number of these drivers have been collected in that first big wreck that we had on just lap number 7. So you wonder if some of them feeling a little bit more cautious after getting involved in such a huge mess early on.
That's only a problem if there's no more yellows. If there's another yellow, they're right back in this thing. I mean, they're surviving. That's a smart way to do it. You see the gap is getting bigger and bigger. Of course, this lead pack is going to be faster. The more cars you have in a pack, the faster they go. That's Daytona logic and Daytona physics, so that's the way it works. But I've been watching this lead pack, and yeah, everyone's leaving a little bit more room. Everyone's being a little bit more patient. Yes, I give them that point. But I've noticed as a result of that, there's a lot more lateral movement than we've been seeing. So if you keep an eye on this pack, there's only 2 lanes, but watch how wide these lanes are. It's not like the inside lane's holding the inside line. Look at all the wiggling up and down, or up and down right there for Marasco. As he says, you know what, we're going to run the inside lane. But look at how much movement there is here. Again, it's risky. It's risky.
The problem is that big one that we had on lap 7, they weren't exactly pinched each other either. It was just a bad bump in the outside lane that sent the car swinging down like a battering ram into the inside lane, and it was on from there. It doesn't always take somebody pinching somebody else down to cause a wreck. It more often than not comes from a bit of nose-to-tail contact. And if there's ever going to be a wreck that starts that way that results in a big one, it's probably going to be coming from the outside lane going down into the inside lane.
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling, man. There's no telling. I mean, look how close the 2 on the outside are right now coming off the corner. I mean, not just the 2, really the first 5 there, nose to tail. It's risky, but I get it. Everyone's really, they're being patient. They're just being patient really close to each other, which is okay. That's fine. Oh, there's a shove. Was that a shove, or did one car just kind of lunge to the inside? That was odd. You see the 81 back up as a result of that, give him a little bit of room. It's going to leave a gap, but now that he's going to get a big shove coming off of turn 2. 81's he going to get to the back of him? He looks like he did. Yep, there's the hit right there. And that's going to check up through the field. Do they all survive behind? Looks like they do. Now we're looking at Brian Dees, next car to go a lap down. And the pack is a-coming.
And Brian Dees is going to be under fire here before too long, as he's another one of those drivers that was unfortunate enough to be kind of caught out in the early going here. He's going to have to stay up to the outside line if he wants to keep himself safe and sound off of the tri-oval. And that shouldn't be too difficult for this field to get around. They've done it once already. No reason why they can't do it again. And he puts himself in the wall.
Careful with that. Careful with that. Yep. That's yep, nicely done. Everybody made it through. I think he tried to make a car as high as possible. Got the wall there a little bit. Saw a few guys go into the corner. I think they were a little surprised to see him, but we all survived. Everything's good. Meanwhile, back up front. Kilroe up front now. I don't know if has he been leading or did he just get shuffled up there? I don't think he was up. He got ahead of Marasco. I think he maybe came across the top line.
Yeah, he's been on the move for the last little while, and just touching on those lap cars for a moment, Nick Nickerson was easily able to get around Brian Dees because he's actually the third car on the outside line. So Nick's also been on the move. If he plays his cards right here, he could actually put himself in front of this field and technically retake the lead lap. The reason why that's good for him, that means if a caution comes out and he's ahead of this pack and being the one that's leading the train and doing all the grunt work of breaking this air, he doesn't have to worry about a lucky dog, and he can come down to pit road with the rest of the leaders.
Absolutely. That's the way you do it. That's how you get your positions back on track. I'm looking through the rule book. Again, I'm new to the league, so I'm kind of checking out the rule book to see if lap cars are required to let the leaders through. And I haven't found it yet, but doesn't mean it's not here. So I'm trying to find it.
I don't believe it is. It's kind of like usual rules, right? It's more of an advisory play. You don't have to get out of the way, but it's advised that you do, because they don't tend to like you when you get in their way a lot.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, it's not a rule. He has to get out of the way. He's there. He's able to race. He's not breaking any rules, so have at it, man.
Halfway down, 50 down, 50 to go. Dalton Kilroe now leading his first laps of the season. He went to the Final Four last season after only going to the round of 8 in Season 1. Next step, seeing if he can't start his season on a high to go for a championship bid.
Off to a good start. Really, only halfway through this race, though. Still anything can happen. It's still early. It's at Daytona. It's still early. You just don't know. But they're clicking off some good laps. And by the way, if you keep a score at home, we are now 24 laps since the last pit stop. So if we're guesstimating that your fuel tank can go somewhere between 25 and 30 laps, we're close. We're getting close. So what you would expect to see, this green flag stops, you would expect this field to spread out a little bit. Maybe the double files to break into single file. Some gaps start forming. You get your groups, who's going to pit where. So far, everybody's pretty tight still 2x2, so I don't know if it's going to be coming up this lap. When you see these guys start spreading out, though, that's a pretty clear sign it's coming.
Well, we got some drivers that are starting to break apart further down the field. You see them starting to get into a single file train down low. So some drivers might be trying to prepare for pit stops coming on up here within the next 10 laps or so. Kilroe and Leakey, though, still leading the lines 1-2. And nobody really up here on the outside showing too much concern on finding a hole to get down to the bottom. I think if they were really concerned, we'd be seeing some more of these drivers really dropping back to head to the tail.
Yeah, and I think at this phase, too, the green flag pit stop, I mean, you're taking fuel, you might as well take tires as well because you got to wait for the fuel while you're there. So you'll see these cars go up on jacks once they come in. If we are right with about a 30-lap tank, then they cannot make it to the end. So you're going to just fill the thing all the way up and come back out and keep running. On board with Haggy here from Annapolis, Maryland. That's a good town. I've been there. Running currently P7 inside lane, leaving plenty of room to the car ahead. And just clicking off laps of Daytona as you do.
Oh, Brian Dees getting a little squirrely in the middle of this pack. And a couple of cars. Oh, we got one around! Canfield sliding, the 5 sliding. Caution is out, and that's just saved this field. Green flag pit stops.
Oh, man, that wreck was about 3 different wrecks happening in turn 1 right there, and eventually kind of just piled on itself. I think the only car that actually went around there was the 5 car of John Osborne, who got punted in the back as everybody was slowing down. I think everybody else pretty much gathered that up, but has the bump draft gone wrong in the turn 1? Let's take a look.
Jump forward a little bit more than that as this field comes down into turn number 1. See the 23 gets up into the outside wall, but that doesn't cause this. The 16, just the bad bump from Thorpe.
Oh, bump drafting in the corner.
Doesn't
24
go
got in
well.
the 34. 34 got in the back of the 16. 3 cars got together right there.
Paul just getting around that.
Did he save it twice? Then he got hit by the 35, and then he saved it again. He saved that car twice. That's wild. 5 car got hit sideways. Everybody saved it. Nobody actually went into the wall, but yellow's out. So let's see. Yeah, so let's watch. 24 gets in the back. So it was actually like a few different accordions right there. Wow, look at the wow. I mean,
probably didn't even need to be a caution, but
listen, there were like 3 or 4 guys right there just drove the wheels off those cars. I want to acknowledge that, and didn't spin out or tank slap it or anything. Yeah, 16 gets into 34, 34 gets into back. Yeah, they all kind of checked up. I can't really blame 16 for that.
But that could have been an incident that was a lot worse.
Yellow's out. I'm sure everybody's going to come in and get some fresh Sunoco fuel.
You think, but they are coming down. I thought they were out at the tri-oval at that point.
Everybody's in. Everybody's in. Go ahead and put some fresh rubber on there. Get some fresh set of shoes, and some fuel. Let's see if anybody bounced off the pit wall this time.
Well, so far so good. Don't expect to see a lot of drivers taking extra long in the pits either, considering how few are involved and how little damage in general that wreck caught.
Yeah, these are going to be full fuels, though. 34 car overshot their pits there a little bit. A few guys overshooting pits having to back up. Race off pit road.
Goes the way of the 82.
82. Paul Wilson up to the point. He started way back in 25th. He's checking in tonight with a P1 run. Nicely done, Paul.
So yellow flag out for the 3rd time, past the halfway point. We're going to take a step back when we return. It's more racing action on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Getting set to go back to Green Flag racing action from Daytona International Speedway into the second half. It'll be 43 laps to go. Pace car is into pit road. Green Flag back in the air. Paul Wilson leading them down towards turn number 1.
Kind of a messy start there, about 10 rows back. Somebody dove to the apron to get out of the way. It may have been, I think it may have been actually our pole sitter, Aaron Smith. Something happened there. I don't think he got shot. But anyway, up front, Paul Wilson going to lead him into turn one. He's going to run the middle lane, try to cut that draft on the outside. But that outside lane's got to run. It's going to be Kilroy and Lakey, I think. Nope, Kilroy and Marasco, excuse me. They're going to be running 2 by 2. And, yep, we're getting right back in formation here. Heading into turn number 3.
So Dalton Kilroy taking that one down to the turn number 3 with Ty Marasco shoving him to the point. Dustin Ping still lining it up. 3rd place the outside row. The top 3 on the inside row. You got Wilson, you got Lakey, and you've got Carter Phillips that are all running line astern into the tri-oval this time by turning lap 59. And Paul Wilson leading the way, although he nearly gets into Kilroy there in the tri-oval.
Oh man, I'm heart stopped for a second right there. I know you want that side draft. Good gracious, be careful through the tri-oval. These cars aren't even up to speed yet. That's when they're super sketchy. It's a 30 car there, touches the apron, gives a little wiggle. That's Carter Phillips. Look, the car kind of shot up the track about 2 feet, but everybody survived. And thought I saw a car turning. I'm on edge. I'm on edge, Nolan. I'm on edge.
Kilroy continuing his strong run to the high side. Wilson still hanging out down low. You got the 81 and the 1 still looking to go side by side as well. As we really enter the nitty-gritty of this race, still not able to go the rest of this race on 1 tank of fuel. So 1 set of pit stops is still in order for this field. And it's probably not going to be until about lap 70 that these drivers can confidently say, we're good to go to the end of this race.
Yeah, it's about 10 laps to get there and then 1 more stop to get to the end, absolutely. There's a lot of movement in the middle of this pack. If you know, there's a lot of lateral movement going into the corners in the middle of this pack, and it's making me nervous already. Front looks like, the front's holding their own pretty good, but of course, now that I say that and you look at it on TV, nothing's actually happening. But I promise it was happening. Maybe everybody's kind of settled down. On board with Mr. Paulson here. Running the high lane, checking up a little bit. Don't want to get back to the car. So everybody's being super patient. Paulson's got a car behind him. Looking a little race trying to go around the outside, but he tucked back in line as well. Yeah, just stay in line, run your laps, be patient. And let's see where it gets you here at about 15-20 laps from now is again the 30 car, Carter Phillips. That's the 2nd time I've seen him touch the apron coming out of turn 2.
Oh boy!
And,
huge,
oh my goodness.
Huge moment in the middle of the pack there, coming down towards turn 3.
I think that all started with the 30 car coming off of turn 2, but I digress. As we see a few cars, I'm keeping an eye on a couple guys here. I'm keeping an eye on, oh, you got replay here. See, watch the inside, watch the 30 car right there. See him shoot up, and then he's going to settle down. That's going to kill the momentum of the line. Yep, see that everybody checks up, and then that just starts a snowball.
Jeez.
Yeah, man, you got to be careful with that stuff. But a few guys I'm keeping an eye on here, Nolan. I'm keeping an eye on Aaron Smith. And that, I'm colorblind. I'm going to call it yellow. It might be green. But whatever that
You're
bright
correct.
70
It is yellow.
Okay.
The team's yellow vision, so.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The yellow car, he's working his way up. And, at this stage with 39 laps to go, this is about the point where you want to get back up toward the front, I think. I think you're running around the back. You had your chance for that. If there's one more big wreck, then you come do it again. But you want to get back up toward the front and kind of stay there now. He's working his way up, and also Lakey's working his way. Oh, sorry, not Lakey's up there. Who's the other driver I saw? I think it was. I'll find it in a minute, but no, yeah, you definitely keep an eye on Smith for sure.
Double file.
Ooh.
Hasn't been single file once so far tonight. Just the way we like to see it. Lots of side-by-side racing action, a little bit of contact. Deeper in the field, they're able to get themselves sorted. Kilroy being shoved clear by the MFRD Dairy Queen cosplay number 1 as Kilroy, he thought about jumping down to the inside, but Paul Wilson stuck his nose in there and made sure he couldn't slam the door.
Yeah, Wilson having none of that, saying, I'm keeping the inside lane. You got to stay up top there, Sonny. He did. Forced it shut. He's getting a good shove from the 84 there of Lakey on the inside. That's what you need. You need a good partner to push you when you're up front. because you have nothing else. When you're running full throttle the whole time, there's nothing else you can do besides keep it flat and turn the wheel. You need a good guy to push you in the right spots coming off the corner, because you get a shot right here, you get a shot down the middle of the back straightaway, and then you kind of just shove them into the corner, and right when they come back off again, you're back on the bumper. That's how you want to do a successful draft. They're being a little bit more conservative right now, which is fine because you got 37 laps to go, but that's the only reason that inside lane can keep the outside lane from overtaking is a good drafting partner, and that's exactly what Lakey's doing right now. He's being a good teammate, good tag team partner.
36 laps to go. Around now, drivers can really start to focus on going the distance here and trying to go long on the pit stops. Right now, still a lot of folks going double file. I'm surprised you haven't seen more drivers attempting to open up that third lane. We saw a lot of that in the second stint of the race, but we haven't seen a lot of that outside of the first 25 laps.
Yeah, I think once you get out of your system and you realize it's not very productive, hopefully you kind of learn a lesson and don't do it anymore. But now you said it. Yeah, look, there it is. It will materialize.
I mean, it's a green flag to be a tradition at this point. Oh, we got one around. Sliding to the inside. Did he keep that off the wall?
He did. No yellow. Going to rejoin.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness. No yellow. We're still going. Everybody stayed. I mean, nobody lifted. They just kept going. I love it. We'll find out there in a second what happened. I don't even know who that was. I missed it. I think it may have been oh, it was Massengel. Okay, so he came off the corner. Did he get shoved here? He's running the inside. Oh, he washed up. Nope. Well, inside lane and top lane. Oh.
That was a weird incident all around. Looked like he kind of bobbled off the apron and then checked up with the 21, just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's good. I would say they both try to get to the middle of the track. Unfortunately, they're both there at the same time.
Oh, he did get some contact, though.
Yeah, and that's because, I mean, they're both kind of running the middle of the track there. I can't blame the guy on the top there.
Good save.
Nice save, though. But he's locked it down, going to burn his tires up, but he survived. Definitely survived, so.
Cool.
Great job from these two. That was Andrew Jones back there. Trying to survive. Definitely survived that one. No yellow, though. We're still green. 34 to go.
Oh, lucky escape on that one. I think that's the one mulligan that this field's going to get this afternoon.
Yeah, at this stage, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit racy. You're getting toward the last third of the race. That third lane is trying to materialize. The 81 there, it's going to be Justin King. He's trying to will it into existence, and I think he did. He pushed the one car up of Marasco there, and then he left him hanging out the drive. He didn't even help him.
Oh no, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. Can he keep it off the field? No, he doesn't. No. Lakey spins around. 5, 6, 7. The 21's up and over. Big crash for Marshall Crocker Jr. as he tumbles down the embankment. Caution's out for the 4th time tonight. And the big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Oh, that's where you know. I mean, as soon as you see a car shoot to the inside like that, it's never. There's no way to slow the car down and rejoin without that happening. That's so unfortunate. Now we'll get a look at what happened to trigger that incident. This is going into turn 1 here. This might be where the rejoin happens. Everybody check. No.
There was a separate incident.
27. No, that was when they were rejoining. Everybody was checking up. So the 80. We got to see what happened to the 84. Because that's everybody checking up right there to not get in the back. You know, because they saw him coming up. That's everybody's. You know, some are checking up, some are not. They're getting run over. That's what that was. But I don't think the 84 did he even hit anybody? Everybody just checking up, trying not to hit him.
I think he did get into the side of a couple of drivers here. We'll get a look.
Let's see. Here you go. 84's running right. Oh,
that's
so
the middle lane.
And I mean, yeah, he's slowing down too. You see him; he's trying his best. There's nothing you could do. So again, 3 wide. It was 3 wide. The middle lane got a shot going into the corner, which shot him down to the inside. I don't know who's in the middle lane. We'll find out here in a minute, I'm sure. That wasn't
it was
his fault.
Kilrow.
He's out of the game. He's trying. There's nothing he could do here. Nothing he could do. And they were going to wreck behind him anyway, to be honest. They were already wrecking by the time they got to him. So
21 went for a big ride in the middle of the field there.
Can we do it one more time from looking and going into the corner of that lead pack with sorry, I'm looking through my score. I think it was Lakey, wasn't it? Was Lakey in the 84 car?
Yeah.
I think so. So if we can get Lakey going in the turn one, I want to see who was in the middle lane.
It was Dalton Kilrow.
Oh, it was Kilrow right here. Boom, that shot right there. That's the one that did it. And yeah, the rest is history.
It's with Crocker as he went up and over. He tumbled on top of Brian Dees in the middle of that mess. This is what Dees saw.
Lakey did his best right there. There's nothing.
Woo.
There's nothing. Lakey did nothing wrong right there. He actually did a heck of a job slowing it down and not coming across the entire field going into turn one right there. I mean, right here, this is it. Slow the car down. You see him out of the gas. It's just, wow.
And not a single car got out of that unscathed that was behind this until you get the guys that were already well off the pack.
Yeah, guys like Smith, those guys in the back that were no, I'm sorry, not Smith. It was Andrew Jones, is what I'm thinking of. Andrew back there running around. But I think Andrew actually retired the car, so maybe he got caught up in that. Oh, look at that shove! He hit that bump right there. It takes the front wheels off the ground.
I think that bump is what really caused this, because that easily kept that car going a lot further.
Smith's in there too. Our pole sitters caught up in that as well. That took out a lot of good race cars. A lot of good race cars in the middle right there.
And the one that arguably got the worst of it was Marshall Crocker, who went into the outside wall, got kicked up on top of Smith, and this 21 machine went up and over, barrel rolled over the hood of Brian Dees.
All right, I'm going to ask a controversial question. I know it's my first race with the High Tide League. I hope I don't burn any bridges with this, but Race Control has given Lakey an EOL penalty for that incident. And I'm not in the chat. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on there, but I don't know if I understand that. Lakey's minding his business, running the bottom down here. You see 81 here of Dustin Ping. Actually, Dustin Ping is the one that got in the back of the 41 of Kilrow. Kilrow goes down and hits the 84. He is doing everything he can right here to not. And maybe the EOLs for something else. And that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, I'm not. I would hope that's not for the incident, because I mean it's about as cut and dry and not Lakey's problem than anything. I mean, it's not a lot he can do when he gets shoved onto the apron on the approach to the corner.
I mean, Dustin Ping's the one there that gave the shot into the corner, and I know they're racing hard. I get it, but I mean, you got 30-something cars on track, and about 8 of them survived that. So that's a big incident. But anyway, I digress. 30 laps to go. Shout out to Lakey's mom watching in the chat, giving her son support. Love to see it. Says she's 9 hours apart, but watching him race makes me feel close.
Don't tell me she put that in right before he wrecked.
It was around the same time. I don't have a timestamp on it, but
I shouldn't be laughing. I'm so sorry.
Miss Lakey, we're glad you're here. Enjoy it and keep rooting for your son.
That was less than a lap before that happened. So is that a commentator's jinx or a viewer's jinx on that one?
Yeah, it's broadcast jinx. Let's call it that. I don't know. 30 laps to go. Did anybody pit? I don't think they did, right? So no, everybody stayed out.
Yeah, no, the whole field came down to pit road with that one, because now they can go to the end. They're safe now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Lap 69, lap 70. Yep, you're right. Okay, very good. So okay. Now we're going green. I'll save that discussion for later. Go ahead.
Green flag back up in the air. Marasco with the jump. Oh, the 82 doesn't go. Huge stack up middle of the field. This is going to be big.
They're wrecking.
And we're around immediately. That should have been a lot worse than it was, though. Kilrow and Hilbrands go around, and that can all be attributed because the 82 of Paul Wilson, I think, started in the wrong gear.
Kilroe's the one that lost the most out of that. He got sent through the grass. Restart did not work. We'll restack, do it again. Let's see. Here's the restart here. We got
It was Kilroe and Hillbrands. And
Hillbrands here. Oh, no, it's on the outside. Six car didn't go, yeah.
It wasn't the 6, it was the 82. The 82 didn't go. He was the one that was on the front row with that.
And a lot of damage there, too.
Oh, I think that's enough to keep that car out of pit road. You saw him penalty to keep from getting the penalty for an unsafe pit entry, and I think he might have gotten away with that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, is that a wrong gear? Or, let's see. Watching the outside.
There's no way. It was either a wrong gear or a missed shift.
Let's see. Outside lane. Yeah, outside lane just doesn't go. Just doesn't go at all. And then that was never going to work. That's nobody's fault except whoever didn't go right there.
It's right on board with the 82 car. That was Paul Wilson for GFR. And yeah, he's in the wrong gear. He's in 4th still. Right there, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, he downshifted. He realizes his mistake, but it's too late.
Yep, you only make that mistake once, and you learned your lesson. But unfortunately for Kilroe,
yeah, take a look here.
Look at his tag. Just look at his tag.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's at 3,000 RPM for Wilson. Meanwhile, Marasco, it's up to about 5 1/4. So that's a good indicator right there.
And you see him throw it down a gear too once he realizes what's going on. There's some strat there. Usually under yellow, you run a high gear to save fuel, or you can clutch a little bit. You know, all those things count. But when you go back to the restart, you got to put it back into go mode. You know.
The one's putting the clutch in, so he's not confident that he can go to the end of this race on 1 tank of fuel.
I mean, we said about 25 laps. They got to go about 30. So if we are, I mean, again, we're not crew chiefs. We don't have any access to the fuel numbers here. I'm guessing, I mean, they got yellow flag laps now, though. They should be good. But if there's green, white checkers, which I'm assuming, again, new person to the league, do they have green, white checkers here, Nolan?
They sure do. You get 3 attempts.
Oh, you need gas for those too, so I'd be clutching too if I were these guys. You pit it with just enough laps to get through a green flag racing. Fuel is a factor, especially if you go green, white checker. Which Daytona, why wouldn't you?
Well, we got the yellow flag out for the second time this afternoon, and Ryan D's got the lucky dog free pass that last time by. And he's coming to pit road.
Yeah, if you guys, I guess if you guys are clutching all the way down the back straightaways, what's going on? I guess a lot of these guys dropping down to the apron and building big gaps. They must be just building just clutching all the way around. So some guys, a few guys, Kilroe, Nickerson, Canfield, D, Sherman, pit road, man, top off, get some fuel. That way you're definitely good to the end. That could be a winning strategy right now. It really could be, especially if we have multiple green, white checkers. Because everybody else would probably not make it.
Confirmed the 82 will have the end of the longest line penalty for the restart. I think that is very fair because it was him being in the wrong gear that caused that mess to take place. Not a lot of the front runners coming down to pit road. They're going to try to see if they can go the distance, not wanting to gamble. Send to the tail of the field. So caution time for the 5th time today. We return. It's more racing action on Green Flag TV. And, well, as I say that, we're going to not do that because the lights just went out on the pace car.
All right, one more caution lap, and we'll do it again. That's fine. So they're going to recycle up, get side by side, and kind of reset the field here. Let's look at our top 10. I mean, you got Marasco, Phillips, Hagee, Zimmerman, Paulson, Sikorsky up there, Lagunas up there. Thorpe with a good recovery run up there in 34. I feel like he's been in 3 or 4 different incidents tonight, but he's currently running up there in P8. Larry Bell having a nice quiet run up there in P9. Getting Greenwell up there is P10. So these guys, a few drivers having some pretty quiet nights. I don't think we've heard a lot from like Sikorsky tonight. I don't feel like we've heard a lot from Greenwell or Bell, but all of these guys are up there and running top 10. Triplet, haven't really said much about his name tonight. You got Lakey up there. Even with all the incidents he's still knocking on the door of a top 10. I mean, this is Daytona, man. Anything can happen. Any of these guys can get up here with 26 laps to go. That's a long time at this racetrack. It really is. Nobody's out of this race yet. A few guys that pitted are coming back around. They're catching up to the field now. They definitely got gas to the end. I love that race car, by the way, Marasco's car. That is a slick paint scheme. I like that.
It really is.
Talk about. I said talk about.
Well, you can thank MF Race Design, the series sponsors for that.
That's great. I love that scheme. That's a sharp looking race car. I get to enjoy these new paint schemes. It's not often I get to go to a league and just see a bunch of new paint cars, and that's a good one. I like it.
Well, we're going to come off of turn number 4. Stadium lights about to flick on as well from Daytona International Speedway, as we're going to be looking to finish this race in the sunset. Race car into pit road. Marasco takes this one back to the green flag. We'll try it again. 25 laps to go. Oh, Marasco with a big jump. You cannot get that big of a jump if you want to keep the lead.
No, that's a big jump right there. Thankfully, the 2 guys behind him are tucking in. They got kind of a big jump too, but I tell you what's going to have a big run by the time they get there. That outside lane's going to have a big run. Even though it's only 2 cars, all the guys on the inside are going to start stacking up. A few of these guys on the inside should go up, and there it is. There you go. It's going to be Carter Phillips going to be leading the outside of the lane. That's going to keep that outside lane with momentum. Down the back straight we go. We're 2 by 2 by 2.
We're going around again. Multiple cars into the infield. Triplets in the infield. Foster takes him out in the middle of the infield grass. Not sure if he was in control of his car or not. Larry Bell also involved, but a 2-car spin in the infield, and we'll keep it green. 24 to go with the line.
Yeah, no yellow. A few guys got shunted down to the inside, collected each other, but they're back underway.
Foster's still trying to get going.
8-car trying to find his way back to the racetrack. No yellow. Remember, yellows here are thrown manually by race control, so they're looking at this. 3 wide up front, 24 laps to go. Look at the 22 car. That's going to be Zimmerman checking his way up toward the front. Carter Phillips up front. Zimmerman side by side now for the race lead down the back straightaway.
So they're side by side for the lead. Let's take a look back on what happened here to Foster and Moore. Oh, just a massive stack up in the middle of the field.
Oh, wow.
And then you see the 8 cars sliding down, and yeah, he was just trying to lock it down before he got to the inside wall. He had no control over that car, which is why it careened into the side of the 64 of Zachary Triplett.
Yeah, that's everybody catching the leader after that. After the leaders checked up, or not checked up. I mean, the leaders running normal pace. Everybody else was running fast. They all checked them. They all started bottlenecking, and that's what happens now. Unfortunately for the 8 car, Kevin Foster, he's got to make a green flag pit stop. His night is essentially over.
Yeah. Look at those tires. He can't even turn. That car is killed.
Yeah, he's done. So that's going to kill his night. But meanwhile, back on the racetrack, is he? He's going to take a tow. Yep, he's back. Look how tight everybody is. 23 to go. Got some pushing and banging here. Still 2 by 2. Into turn 3, it's going to be Zimmerman up front. Phillips is now going to pull up out of turn 4. Still side by side all the way through.
Carter Phillips leading the way from Zimmerman up on top. So you got a rookie running in second right now. Carter Phillips ran a good number of races in the Gen 4 car. Unfortunately, he found himself facing the wrong way in about every single race he competed in. And, well, tonight's been no exception. He's been able to really bounce back tonight. Whoa, look out, Marasco! All over the shot as he comes off of turn number 4 or 2.
Man, somehow they held on to that. That's crazy. Absolutely wild there coming off the corner. You see Murrah?
Oh, my
turn 3.
goodness.
Did he save it? They're going to wreck behind. I think everybody survived.
They can't keep doing this. I mean, sooner or later, somebody's going to roll snake eyes with this. I mean, this field.
Oh, my goodness.
They got to get a handle on this quickly. This is out of control right now.
This is everybody. I mean, that's 2 weird incidents there. Now, here's what's going to happen, Noah. I'm going to call it now. Everybody's spread out now because everybody's checking up. But what's going to happen is they're all going to accordion right back together. They're not spread out enough to lose the draft, so they're all going to tighten back in. And when they come back in, they're going to come in with momentum, and they're going to go 3 wide. We're going to say, oh, no, they're going to make it.
Oh, my word.
Oh, my goodness.
They are trying to wreck.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. This is just waiting for the wreck because they're trying, like I said, they're trying their hardest. Meanwhile, after all that shaking out, 34 car, Michael Thorpe had a crazy day. He's now leading the race.
Thorpe trying to block up to the outside. That'll open up the door for Jason Greenwell down low. So Greenwell takes it down low. Thorpe hangs on from the outside. The 84 and the 22 going at it as well. And now Greenwell with a bad push down to the turn number 1.
Goodness, boys, you got to hold it. You still got 20 laps to go. This is still a long way to get to the end. I know it feels like it's right there, but these laps are 45 seconds long, so you've got at least 15 minutes of racing here, boys and girls. You got a long way to go. So settle down. See, this is the conveyor belt we're starting to see. It's the draft conveyor belt. The outside lane has just enough speed to get the first car in front. They drop down, and they got to do it all over again. That's kind of the natural movement of the draft line. So you want that outside lane is the one that's moving forward. But man, I don't know if they're going to make it. So 84, that's going to put Lakey. Look at Lakey work his way back up to the front after everything that's gone down. Here he is, knocking on the race lead again, having a great recovery drive. Give yourself a little bit of room there, the Lakey. Don't get too close. I don't want to see you get wrecked again.
Talk about giving the bird to fate and circumstance with that one, as Lakey goes from fighting for the lead, being doored to the inside, out of control, sliding into traffic, causing the biggest wreck of the night as a result. Got sent to the tail end in a bit of a controversial call, and now right back up to the point, not even 10 laps later, and battling for the top spots once more.
That's what I say. I mean, Daytona, you don't ever know what's going to happen, man. Anybody could draft their way up there if you got the wherewithal and the awareness to do it and not wreck. Apparently, Lakey's got it. He's up front. He's got that outside lane. That's the lane to be. You need someone good to push you, though. You got the 72 of Lagunas pushing him right now. I want to see that outside lane get a little bit tighter to get the conveyor belt working. But, yeah, I mean, right now, there's like everybody's back together. So they were spread out, 3 laps ago? Now they're all right back on top of each other.
And not seeing too many drivers being too aggressive. I think the last 10 laps or so have really scared this field into shape. And as I say that, Zimmerman will jump up to the outside line looking to make some more ground. So I think a lot of folks now, they're getting a little bit more desperate, and they are really trying to see what they can do to battle their way to the front. They're using these next 10 laps or so to put some feelers out to see what moves might work, what moves definitely will not, so they can make those moves in the final 10 laps. We're 3 wide deeper in the field.
Yeah, Aaron Smith back here in that bright yellow car is trying to make it 3 wide. And he's running a lap down, so there's nothing. He's just racing the other guys, trying to get the lucky dog here at this point. But this is, look at all the movement. Look at how much movement there is. Again, lateral movement here is a scary thing. Look at the run. Look at the run. 5 cars deep, 6 cars deep. They got so much more speed. And you have a choice as a driver. Do you take that speed and knock the car in front of you to kind of play it forward and pay it forward? Or do you take that speed and stick it out to the outside, go 3 wide, and kind of move around everybody? Lap traffic ahead here, Nolan.
Lap traffic, and that will be not Paul Satmary, sorry. That is Triplet? That is Triplet. So Zachary Triplet going down a lap after he got into it big time with some other folks, and that's going to put him 1 lap down after he got spun around to the back straightaway and unfortunately did not get a caution flag to save his race. Although now he might be hoping for one. Paul Satmary about to be 3 wide.
We're getting to the business end of this race, Nolan. 16 laps to go, about to be 15. This is when you want to start moving toward the front. If you've been patient, time to put it out the window. You need to get that car up to the front 2 rows.
Oh, no!
Caution. There it is. Trouble off turn 4. Into this tri-oval. Bunch of cars around.
The big one, part 3. Tony Hilbrand is in
wrecking
it, and the 89 came sliding in. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was a long wreck right there coming out of turn 4. I think a few guys think that maybe it was the middle.
They're still wrecking. That was clumsy.
Yeah, that was a little clumsy there, but
and that was even worse.
That was even clumsier. Okay.
Hilbrand's is destroyed.
So yeah, I think I was at the inside lane coming off of turn 4 right there. That kind of washed up to the outside wall. It's pretty much the exact same thing I think we saw happen in turn 2 earlier, when I think it was the 25 car got collected in that one. It was Osborne and somebody else. But yeah, let's see if we can find a replay on this one, because that's going to be, I bet you if it's, is it 3? Yeah, 3 wide. Here he goes. You got Smith in the inside. He's going to stick it in there. You're also looking at Hildebrand in the 92 car there.
Hildebrand.
Does Smith go up?
I think it happened up the road. The 21 got into the Paul Satmary, one of the lap cars, and turned him into the wall.
It wasn't even. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong spot.
The 21 slid across the nose of the 3. Aaron Smith gets involved. Lacey had nowhere to go. The 19 slams into the back of Brian Dees, and now the track's blocked, and you're on for the ride. And again, nobody that was behind this realistically got out of it unscathed.
Wow, a lot of good race cars caught up in that. How about Aaron Smith making it through that, by the way? He was the one I was watching. By the way, lots of drivers going to pit road right now. I know you're watching replays, but this is a good spot for a splash and go to cover the end of the race. And let's see, I've been watching Smith, but it was actually further ahead. Yeah, I mean, so...
Look at the hood go flying over the fence.
So it was the 24 car, the German... Paul there, he just tried to close the door, but there was a car there, unfortunately.
Just the exact wrong place, wrong time, like we've seen so many times.
He goes to the middle. He goes to the middle, and then unfortunately the 21 tried to get up there, stick it on the high side, and they just let that gap close.
That's a hard leg into the wall for Hildebrand's team.
Yeah. Look at the black smoke coming off of the. The 92 is the one that got the black smoke there. That's definitely that's a race ender. Hildebrand's there.
And then the 35 had gotten out of that unscathed. He was just collected right at the tail end.
What happened with the 7 here? The 7 just wasn't looking out the windshield. He was probably looking at the black box or something. And there's a car in front of me. That'll happen. So on board view here, who are we looking at here? This is going to be a view from Benjamin Lacey. Turn 4, just cruising along. Oh, cars, go ahead.
You see Hildebrand's hard shot into the fence.
Nothing you can do. It's just the nature of this racing. And so Lacey's the one that he's got no steering. Look at him, he can't turn to the left. You see him when he turned to the left? Right? He's going to come up here. Watch. He's going to go. He's got speed. He's going to crank to the left.
Crank to the right.
He can't turn either direction.
All right, we'll cut Lacey some slack.
Yeah, I take it back. All right, anyway, so let me catch up with what happened here. So while we're watching these replays, everybody from 14th down hit pit road. So you got 36 cars on the racetrack right now. More than half of them just did a splash and go. So if you're keeping track at home with the fuel mileage number, that means anybody from 14, actually, no, I take it back, from 11th and 12th and up, I'll find it eventually, 12th and up, they may have fuel, may not have fuel. I don't know. If you had 3 more just went in. Matsigill, Schuer, and Keithley just went into pit road this lap. At the very, we got 1 to go here too. So everybody's trying to get as much. Look at the hoods go flying. Holy moly, dude!
And this is just the exact worst case scenario.
Yeah,
he had that missed and just.
He was trying so hard. Yeah, did everything right there. Watch that bright yellow car of Aaron Smith there. Watch this. He's gonna see the he's in the middle. Don't forget, he can't just move. He's on the brakes. He forces a lane and just keeps on going. Wow. All right, so reset the field here now. Back to live racing. So again, everybody in the top. Again, looking at the scoreboard, make sure I got this right. Top 6 rows. Top 6 rows stayed out. Everybody else is good on fuel. So your top 12 drivers, we'll call it questionable on fuel. If that many guys are ducking to pit road, I am not confident that we're going to make it. Especially with the green-white checkers. This is going to be tight. You're going to try to save fuel here. The guys in the back, though, starting around 13th place, like Paul Wilson, Kilroe, Williams, Canfield. Andrew Jones back there. Remember Andrew Jones down in P18th? He's one of these guys who's running at the back of the pack all night. And now he's slowly working his way back up toward the front. So let's see what happens, man. 13 to go at Daytona.
It'll be a dozen laps in total. 28 cars remain on the lead lap. And still with the majority of this field in the running. Green flag back in the air. 12 to go as we come to the close of caution number 6.
Thorpe and Lakey there did a good job not building a huge gap. That's what you want to do. Now, I think Thorpe is going to lead him into turn 1. Lakey's going to be on the inside. They're still 2x2. Is Thorpe going to bring down and drop to the bottom? Doesn't look like it. Now he's going to drop down, and he's going to take the inside lane. Is he going to go back up and stop the outside? Is he going to try to go back and forth? Oh my goodness. They're pushing. This is when it's dangerous. These cars are not up to speed. Everybody's got different speeds. The guys a few cars back have more speed because of the draft. 83 is going to get pushed ahead. That's going to put Jason Greenwell to the front of this pack first time tonight.
Couple of cars thinking about the outside. In particular, Carter Phillips was among them. Well, the pack thunders down with 11 laps now to go. The 72 getting a little squirrely as well in the middle of the tri-oval. Drivers have, I think, come to realize, especially those deeper in the field, they're out of time. If they want to get to the front, they got to do it now. Otherwise, they're not going to be there to fight it out at the end. How about the top 5 breaking away as Carter Phillips got wicked loose, and that checked up the entire pack.
Inside lane's only got about 7 cars down there. The outside lane's got a lot more. The conveyor belt's going to start. You're going to see the 30 car, or excuse me, the 83 car there. Jason Greenwell is going to get enough of a run to get in front of Michael Thorpe Jr. here. If that outside lane can get their stuff together and get sorted out. Oh, big wiggle from Lakey coming off turn 4. Everybody survived some way, somehow. Wow, that was close, Nolan.
Close call indeed. You're on board with Brian Zimmerman, one of the series rookies. He's battling for the 7th spot right now with the car up on the outside line. Oh, look out! One car drifting right down to the middle line. It's Marasco. Marasco turns Phillips into the outside wall big time, middle of the pack. The 4th big one of the night. And that takes out another half of the field.
Goodness, I think only 4 cars survived that. I think everybody else was caught up in that. See Aaron Smith sneaking through there at the end. I think only 4 cars made it through that without getting wrecked. Looking at my timing sheet anyway. That would be Thorpe, Lagunas, Lakey, and Greenwell survived that. I think everyone else is caught up in some way, shape. Because there was actually 2 wrecks that happened. There was one, yeah, there's the top 4, and then everybody else kind of catching up here. Let's see, so the wreck happened here going into turn number, I think it was turn number 1, right? So
yeah,
they're going down the front straightaway.
Oh,
so they're coming off. This is coming off turn 4.
There was a second incident altogether coming down to the front straightaway. Watch behind here.
Oh
no, sorry. This was the last incident that we just saw.
Yeah, that's the one we saw before. So
yeah,
this
a little
will be,
bit. Yeah.
Race control is trying to sort out what we're doing here, but that's fine. Nolan will catch up on that. So yeah, but essentially there were 2 wrecks going in. Here you go. Going to turn 1. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, it's going to be. Did he have help?
He did. No, I think he went down on his own. He's trying to make 3 wide, but they were okay. It's the second. Oh, it's the 30 car. 30 car shut the door. Didn't know they were 3 wide, and that. But look up ahead. They're still wrecking up ahead too. You see that? So it took out everybody from the 3rd row back. So the 30 car there just shut the door. Unfortunately, shut the door on the nose of Marasco, and yeah, that's what happens. A lot of good race cars caught up in that too.
Take a look.
Watch the 30 car there on the outside. That's going to be that blue car with the yellow numbers.
Wow.
He's going to just shut the door right here. Boom. And there's a car there, and that's just.
He had no idea they were coming either. I think that was on Marasco entirely for that one. I mean, Carter Phillips would not have been getting the 3 wide call. He can't be held responsible for that, surely. I mean, yeah, he shut the door, but he was committed to that line already, and Marasco was stuffing it in the middle of the corner.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit just for the sake. You got mirrors, and you're gonna see that car. I mean, he had plenty of time to look in the mirror. So look, Marasco here is gonna be diving here. The car's in there. You can see all the way down the straightaway. There's 3 cars coming, and he just. I mean, I get it. It's hard racing. I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody. It's hard racing. This is what this racing. Oh my goodness.
Man.
That was a big hit on the 9 car.
That was Osipek with a big ride through turn 2.
And he survived. He made it through the wreck just to get caught up. And that was the second wreck I was talking about. So you had the big wreck first, and then you had the second wreck where I think who got clipped? I think it was a 22 that got clipped. That'd be the 22 of Zimmerman.
He was
but Zimmerman, no, he gets clipped right here, right there,
yeah.
And that's what starts the second wreck down the track. And that caught everybody else that made it through the first wreck.
And again, look at the 64 behind, having another incredible miss. Tell you what, Zachary Triplett, again, he got spun around early on, but he has been bouncing back ever since, and this has just helped him fight his way into the top 10.
Just minding his business back here, running in turn one, leaving plenty of room, and there they go. Crank that wheel hard to the left. Throttle on. Wow.
And he just took it to a full stop, pretty much.
Nicely done. Nicely done. He wasn't the only one. There was another car on the outside of that blue car over there.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, 8 to go. We'll do it again.
Now, will we be 1 to green, or are we going to go one more?
Probably 1 to green this time by, if I were to guess. Again, now resetting the field. A few more drivers came in for fuel that time, by the way, Nolan. Now that leaves only the top 6. So your front 3 rows, that's going to be Thorpe, Lagunas, Lakey, Greenwell, Skokorski, and Zimmerman. The only cars who have not pitted since about lap 70. So they're the ones questionable on fuel. Everybody behind, that's your Triplett, Williams, Ashmore, Schuer, Messengill, Berry. They're all good. So fuel might be an issue here still. More yellows help that, obviously.
The last race we had here, we had 2 attempts at overtime, which caused us to go from the scheduled 100 laps all the way up to 111. The first race we had here only had 2 yellow flags with Gen 7 cars, and that race did finish under regulation time. Bridger Olsen took the first win. He is not racing this afternoon again. It was Michael Ashmore to take the win. This the last time we were out here. Michael Ashmore currently running in the number 9 spot, so he is still not down and out of the fight as well for the win.
Shout out to the chat with lots of family support tonight. You had the Hillbrands in here supporting Tony. Unfortunately, Tony's had some incidents tonight. Now 8 laps down. I think he's parked it for the night. But yeah, so you got Patsy Steele in here cheering on Mr. Lakey, and you got Michael Thorpe cheering on Michael Thorpe Jr. Currently leading this race. But Nolan, man, leading the race at Daytona with 6 laps to go. Is that really where you want to be? I don't know, man.
Absolutely not. It's the last place you want to be because it effectively guarantees you're not going to win the race. Like I said, it's the worst place to be because you're going to be under some heavy, heavy fire, and there's a very high chance you're going to get turned on the final lap, especially with a 6-lap sprint. We'll get back to racing action.
Good start there from Thorpe. Didn't pull a huge gap. That's the way you want to do it. You want to keep these cars tight. That's going to give you less pressure and put more pressure on the guys behind you not to run over each other, which is a smart way to do it. Getting a great push from Lakey. Now, here's the question. Lakey, will he stay behind or will he jump to that outside lane, get a little help from the 72 car for the 72 of Lagunas, gets a run off turn number 2. And there he goes. He moves up, just like we thought. 22 also moved up with Zimmerman. They're going to leave the 34 of Thorpe out to dry. Here comes the 89, though. It's going to give Thorpe a shove. That's the Sean Williams. A lot of guys moving around trying to get up there, but they're still shuffling. Oh, big right, turn 3.
Oh, boy. Multiple cars going around, some into the wall, but we're going to actually keep this thing green, it looks like.
Wow.
5 to go this time by.
That was Dustin Ping that got caught up in that wreck in turn number 3. He's actually staying on track. He didn't go to pit road. I don't know if he could have turned down. There are too many cars on the inside. What happened to Dustin here going into turn 3? Did he get a little help?
Well, it's down to turn 1, so we'll have to jump forward a little bit more. Try to get a look. Here we go. Just got hooked. Oh, he got hooked by Triplett. So Triplett's luck runs out.
Yeah, that middle lane, man. That middle lane is sketchy. It's. I mean, he could be doing everything right. The guy on the top comes down too much, and you're in the wall. So anyway, back up front, Thorpe somehow made his way back up to the lead. 5 laps to go at Daytona. He's getting some push from Sean Williams. Then it's Greenwell, Lakey, Sikorsky coming out turn number 4.
Top 12, all in a battle pack. And then another 7/10 of a second back. You got Keithley and Shire along with Barry in a 3-car scrap, just trying to hang on to the tail end. Jason Greenwell drives around the outside. He takes the lead with 4 to go into turn 1.
Top 4 drivers are the ones that did not pit, do not have enough fuel, perhaps. We don't know. Maybe they can make it, maybe they can't. Top 4 cars, though, definitely did not stop. And then you got the first car up there that definitely has fuel. It's going to be Sean Williams in 3rd position. He's currently sitting on the, I think it's the inside. There you go, inside 2nd lane. That's where Sean, first car, with definitely the fuel to finish the race.
Problems with Dustin Ping looking like an expired motor for the number 81 as he was forced to take it to pit road. He is out of the fight. Your defending champion will start his season on the back foot. 3 laps to go. Greenwell and Thorpe, 2 prior winners. David Lakey, though, trying to go for his first.
Lakey's in a good spot here. That outside lane with 3 laps to go, that's the great spot to be, especially 2nd car in line. Especially if the 83 there of Greenwell, if he stays first car, I mean, that's the spot you want to be. But that 2nd car in line has all the power, has all the decision making, especially if the 22 goes with.
Oh boy!
He sold him a dummy, shot him down to the inside. That's going to give him the upside. 3 wide in turn 3.
Coming to 2 laps to go. The gloves are off. The battle is on, and all of this for the win. Contact for the lead. 2 cars going down onto the apron. They're able to save it. Still 3 wide. Thorpe back to the point with 2 to go.
Thorpe hanging on to that car, making it as wide as the racetrack is, not letting anybody by, but they are building up behind him, sideways, banging like touring cars on a road course right now. Michael Thorpe Jr. leading this race, 2 to go. He's getting pushed by Brian Zimmerman. Zimmerman gets shot at the door.
Oh,
They're
boy.
wrecking off turn 2.
4 cars wrecking to the inside, make it 5, and we are going into overtime at Daytona. Into the inside wall goes Lakey.
Lakey involved, bunch of other good cars. 22 Zimmerman involved. Thorpe Jr. all by himself up front. Here's the thing. This is going to be a green-white checker. Does he have the fuel to make it? Greenwell's going to be 2nd. Another car that hasn't pitted. 3rd car in line is going to be Lagunas. All 3 of these guys, do they have the fuel for a green-white checker? And you see, this is just guys running, just pushing, leaning on each other. I mean, that's 3 different guys right there that caused that wreck at the same time. That's what can you do? There's nothing. I mean, so many good race cars there. Lakey's involved. 35 there of Keithley's involved. The 1 car I think was caught up in that of Marasco. Somehow Marasco got his way back up to this lead pack after being in that last wreck, by the way. Didn't really notice that in the moment, but he was there. Yeah. Anybody ever make it to the inside wall? Do they all kind of, I think Lakey did, didn't he? He got slowed down quite a bit before he got there, yeah. I tell you what does the damage here, Nolan's hitting those walls. Hitting other cars, usually you can, I mean, it's fine, but bouncing off those walls does the big damage.
Like that for Zimmerman.
Yeah, that's a big hit. Yeah, that was like 4 different cars there that, I mean, that's Daytona, though. I've said it how many times tonight? So.
And he got hit again because watch the 2nd hit here that he took with Jones.
Yeah, he got hit a few times.
Oh, and then he put D's into the walls. They continue to wreck all the way onto the racetrack. And then again with a 13.
He probably can't steer it very well, to be fair. Seems like these Class B nationwide cars don't steer very well after smacking the wall at 200 miles an hour. Wow. So who are the big winners on that? I think Greenwell, Lagunas were up there. How about Sean Williams in the 89 car? Maybe made it through that pretty well. Sikorsky's up there as well. Sikorsky's another one of these drivers that did not pit. So again, Sean Williams, first car with plenty of fuel. I am concerned about the top 3, and I am concerned about Williams. Those are the 4. I'm sorry, not Williams. Sikorsky. Sorry, I get there eventually. So the top 3 and then P5 are the ones that may not have enough fuel. We'll see.
Eddie Haggy running the number 22 spot right now. He just got the Lucky Dog free pass, and he is going to be back onto the lead lap with the ability to fight it out for the final laps here this afternoon. Well, Thorpe will lead the way as we get down to it, to the final laps of this race. We're going to take ourselves with a quick step back when we return. It's the final laps from Daytona. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Overtime from Daytona. This lap here was going to be one of the cool down laps. Instead, we're going green with 2 laps to go. Thorpe with the lead. Question is, can he hang on to it?
I tell you what, I mean, he's gotten to the point where I feel like he's been in a few different incidents early. He's got luck on his side. I'm knocking on my table, which is made of wood for his behalf. But he's in a good spot. He's running that car really wide. 2 laps to go. Got to keep an eye on the guys like, Lagunas on the outside. All the other guys, I mean, it's been a kind of a roll of the dice of who's up there right now. But I think the car in the best spot right now is going to be that second car on the outside lane. And that's going to be the... I think it's... sorry, everybody. It's going to be Lagunas. There you go. Green flag, Nolan.
2 laps to go. Michael Thorpe Jr. hops away with the race lead as we make the scramble down towards turn number 1. Lagunas will look to get the driver around the top, but Williams linked up with Thorpe, shoving him clear down to turn 1 for the final time tonight.
Yeah, they got a big run there. That's going to be great for Thorpe. Thorpe and Williams there are going to settle in single file. Single file for the top 5 cars in line, top 4 cars now, as that outside lane is going to have a big run. Who's going to lead it? Who's going to jump up in front of it? Few cars jumping up now. You've got the 75 Bob Berry's going to be the first car. Meanwhile, the 89 Sean Williams is going to tuck right on the bumper of the leader, Michael Thorpe. They're wrecking in turn 3.
Big hit the outside wall. The 3's up and over. Huge crash as Mike Massengale tumbles down and is barrel rolling side over side, end over end, cartwheel wheeling down the apron of 4. And that has got to be one of the most monstrous flips we have ever seen on Green Flag TV.
Yeah, but he didn't lose his hood, though. How many hoods we've seen flying around tonight? He kept it the
Too many to count.
Props to that crew for holding on to that. That wreck's already happened. But I think what happened there, I was watching it live out the corner of my eye on my screen. They were 3 wide, and the same kind of thing. Everybody just kind of got squeezed on each other. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, look at this mess going into turn 3 here. You've got the 75. That's going to be Mike Massengale here. Does the 3 move to the middle? So he gets a little shove there from the 7. It's Benjamin Lacey. Here comes Aaron Smith up the middle. That's what I saw when I looked out the corner. And then that's Smith, I think, came down. No,
just a bit of side drafting gone wrong.
Yeah, just a little bit of.
And then this is where it gets big. Gets flipped up backwards, rides on top of the 5, and then starts to tumble. Huge ride. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Still going. 15 and a quarter rolls there or thereabouts for the number 3.
Another tip of the cap to Aaron Smith for saving that race car, by the way, because look at that bright yellow car in this incident. He was sideways for a long way, and still that car, watch this. That car is wrecking right here. Watch. No problem.
Yikes.
No problem. No problem. I'm on my way. He's good to go. All right.
Man, that is a ride, though. He didn't get any help either. That was just all by himself tumbling.
Yep. No, that'll happen, man. It'll happen. There were some pit stops. A lot of guys pitted here. I think a lot of these guys probably were the ones caught up in the wreck, perhaps. Leaders did not pit. So your Thorpe, your Lagunas, your Sikorsky, those are the only 3 cars that have not pitted. So the other ones that we were talking about before have pitted, actually. So now we're down to 3 cars. It's going to be your race leader, Michael Thorpe Jr., and 3rd place, Hunter Lagunas, and 4th place, Ethan Sikorsky, are still running the same fuel they started with, or same fuel from a few laps ago. Ooh.
That was with Osborne. My goodness, what a vicious tumble. I cannot understate to you just how wild of a ride that was. This is what Osipek saw off the roof.
Just minding his business,
One of the wildest rides I have ever seen. Look at the height that thing got as well. Let's ride on board with Massengill here. Hang on. Might want to look away if you get motion sick. This is going to be a crazy one.
I think it's not a gyro cam. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Make it that.
Nah. Look at that, man.
This hood tried to pop off.
It didn't, though. How about them hood flaps? Or hood straps, or whatever they're called. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who I could follow. I mean, they're just running tight. And if anything, the 3 car just kind of missed the corner a little bit, but
I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
Again, the height that thing got.
Started bouncing off the end caps there, and you see that a lot with in iRacing with like formula cars and open wheel cars. They'll kind of do those weird kind of like somersaulting cartwheels, but not so much. Yeah, not so much in the stock cars lately.
He saw the whole ride, and as he goes and starts to tumble, look at the height that this car gets when it slams back down. All the way up. You could drive underneath that for several cars. And he just avoided getting cleaned out from that thing as he slammed back down to terra firma.
I saw the hood come off right there, but then it got snapped back on. So I don't know how the hood's working with it.
Well, we're on overtime attempt number 2, and we are 1 lap to green, so cutting back to it. Thorpe still hanging on to the lead. Sean Williams now to the outside. And Lagunas, the driver that started at 3rd, now started second the last time out. He starts 3rd behind Thorpe. He's in the capper to potentially win this thing now.
All right, I'm going to say it one more time, then I won't say it again, I promise. The leader and then the entire 2nd row have not pitted for fuel. So if they are close, which I'm imagining they are close by this point, there's a chance they could run out under green here, and we'll keep an eye on that and see. Only car up there in the top 2 rows that definitely has the fuel to go to the end. He's on the outside, number 89, Sean Williams there.
iRacing pace car down to pit road. Attempt 2 of 3. Thorpe into the Geico restart zone. We're back to it.
Nice launch there from Thorpe. Going to get some good help there from Lagunas. Those two should stay nose to tail. There you go. Sean Williams is going to drop down 3 single file on the inside of the front row. Lagunas just pushing Thorpe into turn 1, trying to break away from this second pack, which is all on top of each other here. Careful there, Smith. Don't bump him too hard. He did. He backed out. He's going to drop down to the inside. That was really hard to do. Can they survive down the back straightaway here, Nolan?
They are all over the racetrack. Thorpe trying to hang on from Lagunas. Lagunas pushing Thorpe clear, but here comes Sean Williams with a bit more of a run. Down to turn 3, looking like this time we'll make it off of turn number 4.
Watch that outside lane. Laguna shoots up. Laguna just shot up on the outside. Left Thorpe out in the dry there for a little bit, but Thorpe's going to get some help on the inside here in the form of the 89 car of Sean Williams. White flag. Next flag will end the race. Down the front straightaway, it's Thorpe's Laguna side by side to turn number 1.
Side by side. At this point, whatever happens, happens. Thorpe's got the inside. Laguna's up on top. Right now, it is Paulson and Williams, the 2 pushers. 3 of these drivers have never won a race in the High Tide Racing League. But will it be one of them or will it be a newcomer? Thorpe still trying to hang on to the bottom side. 3 and 4 for the final time this afternoon. The 34 pushing the 70, being pushed by the 89. He's going to get clear. Thorpe looking for a solid drive. Contact on turn number 4. Here comes Williams with the run. Checker flag is waving. Thorpe losing out sideways. Who gets it? Lagunas takes his maiden win in an almighty wreck at the line. But Lagunas steals it right at the buzzer at Daytona.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. Lagunas there had the car in the right spot at the right time. They all start spinning. He was there, just drove it across the line. Look, he's the only car that survived that wreck. And of course, doingly, fittingly, he won the race as well. Look at this finish, Nolan. Off turn 4, 3, 4, 1. Everybody trying to get into any gap they can get. Look at Aaron Smith back up there in that yellow car after having all the trouble he's had tonight. And then the entire bottom half of that field just collapsed on each other, leaving Lagunas on the outside to drive through, get the win all on his own. And now he's going to celebrate with the fans. Is there any fuel left in that car to do it? I guess there is, because he's going to celebrate. Check that out.
What a wild ride. Thorpe having to settle for second as he got turned, coming across the start-finish line in that one. Lagunas able to burn it down to the front straightaway, calls himself a proud race winner, and it is maiden start to boot. So the Pit Lizard number 72 Camry with a monumental drive here at Daytona. And you can imagine he's going to be a threat for the title if he can keep that momentum up at Richmond next week.
Oh, it's the best start you can get. Winning a Daytona, best start you can get. Look at the finish one more time. Look at Thorpe doing everything he can to block both lanes, and he did. He did it all perfectly. I don't know if Lagunas would have had him, but then look at this shot he gets from the 6 car of Derek Paulson. Right here, he's going to get a shot. Bang. That's going to turn the car down into the 89. Man. Look at Thorpe shut the door on Aaron Smith as well on the top lane. What a move. And then
5 wide coming to the line of that.
Look at this. Would you expect anything else from Daytona? Unbelievable.
Got it by about half a car there.
I mean, Thorpe did everything he could there and just got hit by the 6 car going into the tri-oval. That's going to turn most cars most of the time. And, Lagunas in the right spot. Thorpe finishes P2. Sean Williams up there did salvage the P3 in the end.
Well, we'll take a run down now of what your official post-race results look like after a wild way to kick off the racing season for the High Tide Racing League. At the end of the day, Hunter Lagunas in his rookie start takes his maiden win by 0.02 of a second over Michael Thorpe Jr. Sean Williams comes home to pick up the number 3 spot with Aaron Smith in 4th. Derek Paulson picks it up in 5th with Michael Keithley, Michael Ashmore, Corey Sherman, Scott Shire, and Season 1 champion Benjamin Lacey down in 10th.
11th's going to be Bob Berry. 12th, Eddie Hagee. 13th, Ethan Sikorsky. 14th, Brian Dees. 15th, Ty Morosco. 16th, Jonathan Canfield. 17th, John Osborne. 18th, David Lakey. 19th, Andrew Jones. 20th is going to be Nick Osipik.
That'll bring it up to Mike Messenger, Paul Sapmary finishing these races a lap down, and then drivers like Jason Grimo, Zachary Triplett, Brian Zimmerman not finishing this race at all. Dustin Ping, your defending champion, having a bad way to start his season. He'll be needing to have a good one if he wants to survive the coming races. Phillips, Kilroe, Wilson, and Bell round out the top 30.
Yeah, 31st on back now. Hildebrands, Nickerson, Crocker, Foster, Lawson, and Tanner Marr round out your 36-car field for the High Tide Racing League 250 season opener, season 3 for the High Tide Racing League.
What a wild one this afternoon. We're going to get the chance to talk to all of the drivers that come home at the end of an extremely insane race this afternoon. And we're going to be looking, of course, to kick it off first and foremost with the driver that comes home, taking up his maiden win in his rookie start. It is Hunter Lagunas bringing it on up to take home a solid one by about half a car. Hunter, it looked like it was over. Then Thorpe gets turned on the final lap of the tri-oval, allowing you to snipe that race win. Talk us through a wild opener this afternoon.
Oh man, the whole race was crazy, man. I mean, I honestly, I think I really enjoyed that. There were quite a few, yellows, but honestly, it was really good there at the end. We had a few green, white checkers, but honestly, I think it was kind of worth it, honestly. That was really enjoyable.
Overall strategy ended up being key tonight. Quite a few drivers were making some split calls on when they wanted to take some tires and when drivers wanted to go for fuel. How did you manage to play that strategy in order to come home and make yourself a top player tonight?
Me and the 5 team guys, we all had I think we were going to come in and pit. I think somewhere after lap 70 we decided. And we ended up getting the yellow. So we went in, took the yellow, got fuel and tires, came back out, pretty in a decent spot. I think we stayed top 10, like lap 70 and 70 to the finish there. So, just put it together pretty well.
And with you able to come home and take your first win and your first start, are you going to be returning for race 2 and beyond? What's going to be the big goal for the season?
Honestly, we just kind of did this race for fun tonight, but I'll talk to Dalton tonight and we'll see. I might continue doing this.
Well, fingers crossed. You've proven you can run with some of the best that this series has to offer, and we'll see if we'll be getting you back on the track for the action track next week.
Yep.
Hunter Lagunas comes home the race winner for the Pit Lizard Performance Camry, and a wild ride for him this afternoon indeed. We'll get the chance to get a chat with Michael Thorpe Jr. It is unfortunately another runner-up for the number 34, but all things considered, could have finished off worse. He is standing by with Chris Hannigan.
Michael Thorpe Jr., great run tonight. Ended up getting P2. You did everything you possibly could on that last lap to hold on to that race win. It just wasn't meant to be coming to the tri-oval. Walk us through the very end of that.
Well, yeah, I just knew I had to control both lanes and as much as I could, and he just got a little bit better than me. But hey, I mean, I'll take a second place for that as a season opener. That's really not bad. That's pretty good. So there's nothing to be frowned upon. I mean, I would like to win it, but hey, gotta take what you can get.
Yeah, P2 is P2. I mean, it's next best thing aside from a win, right? So you're one of the few drivers that actually didn't top off on fuel there at the end. How close was it? I mean, could you do another green white checker there if it came down to it?
No, absolutely not. It was close. It was very close.
Yeah, we were looking. We didn't have the exact fuel numbers. We knew it was close. We saw everybody topping off, but it was you and 2 other cars. And I knew it was close, but fate worked out in your favor. You did everything you possibly could. Lagunas had a big run there on the outside. We weren't sure whether or not if you didn't spin, if he was going to be him or you at the line, it was going to be close. But I think you did a great run tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank?
Thanks, man. Thanks to my old man who's watching, and thanks for the guys that actually host the league. It's always a pleasure running. And thank you for these Xfinity cars. They changed these things in the last update, but I like it.
All right, great run tonight, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks.
Well, with that, it doesn't look like we're going to get the chance to talk to your third place finisher, Sean Williams, here. But overall, that was a wild one, to put it mildly, here this afternoon. And Chris, obviously it's your first time with these guys, and boy, oh boy, what a way to make an impression. And I know you're going to be with me with these races all through September, October, and into November before we get Derek Watson in here to cover for the rest of the season. But overall, I don't think you could have asked for a better way to kick off the season.
No, that was a great race. I mean, it's Daytona. Daytona's going to do Daytona things. I'm looking forward to Richmond next week. That's where we actually get these guys, get to see them actually drive the cars a little bit. And not just, run these big draft packs. But yeah, learning some names, learning some paint schemes. Hopefully, Lagunas comes back. I think you got a lot of guys that showed up kind of feeling the league out, which is normal in the first race of any kind of season. But yeah, great introduction. And thanks for having me. Absolutely.
Boy, oh boy, there's a lot of exciting racing action coming on up on Green Flag TV. Of course, we're going to be having the MFRD Cup Series at Daytona's sister track, the biggest, baddest track in all of NASCAR, coming to you live from Talladega. And then, of course, when we go racing once again for the Beer League on Wednesday night, there's only 2 rounds remaining, and round number 8 of the championship will come out from Virginia International Raceway. Then for the Speed Cup Series, it's a whole new beast altogether as they swing to the last great Coliseum on Thursday night. With High Tide, the Racing League returning to the action track. They'll be running at Richmond 1 week from today. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, you can check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. My name has been Nolan Rempel alongside Chris Hannigan. What a wild way to kick off racing action on Monday nights. And I, for one, am extremely glad that the High Tide Racing League is back in action. And if this race anything to go by, it's going to be a wild one. We'll see you next week in Virginia.